The time corridor.
No, don't stick my head in those gears. But it's me or you. And I have a family at the doll factory.
I'll send him a nice card.
You'll never get away with this, Ernest. I know where you live.
Hey everyone, welcome to Master Powercast. And tonight, something really special and kind of inadvertent. Originally, we had planned to do this at some point in October, covering Ernest Scared Stupid, and we picked tonight of all nights to do it. And it actually turns out that it falls on the exact day, 34 years ago, that Ernest Scared Stupid was released in theaters. And Tyler, this is a movie that you've championed for a while. I think you watch it every year, if not close to like every other year, whatever. I have not seen.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I have not, up until yesterday, I have not seen this movie for 32 years. I think it was like 92, 93, somewhere around there. It was a rental because I was terrified of scary movies. Even something like Ernest Scared Stupid, if I saw that it had scary elements in it as a kid, I couldn't do it. At least go to the theater. Now, when we rented it, I put it in and watched it. I honestly can't recall too many memories from when I saw it back then. But I do remember being just kind of really nervous and tense about it. So you tell me about your experience, because yours great, like it differs greatly from mine.
Oh yeah. I mean, like you, I was one big pussy when it came to horror movies. It was they were very. I mean, even cartoons, certain cartoons would have moments that terrified me. The Wicked Witch of the West was up there with like things I would watch religiously, but I would get terrified over. This I was so eager to see because I fell in love with Ernest Goes to Jail the year before on VHS. And I was like, oh my God, a new Ernest movie. And it's about Halloween. He's taking on trolls. Like, this is going to be amazing. And I just couldn't wait to see it. We went to go see it, the theater right across the bridge from where I live right now. And it was a roller coaster of emotions from laughing to being genuinely creeped out, from certain moments, like when the music's really loud, when it gets really serious, like, oh boy. And certain moments, I'm like, oh my God, they went that far with it. And it was, I hadn't seen A Nightmare on Elm Street yet, but I would realize years later that this particular monster does some kind of Freddy Krueger like things to entice his victims to relax and things like that. So I fell in love with the movie. I think once I saw it in theaters and then started renting it, I was no longer like creeped out by it. It was more like I was genuinely just pumped, entertained, and wanting to help Ernest be one of the kids that would take on the trolls at the end of the movie. That was my perspective on it. And my mom liked it, my brother liked it. And a little side note, I remember being pissed off that when it came out on VHS, I couldn't go rent it for whatever reason. And I remember on a Sunday, we still get to rent it, and I was just angry. And my dad, I was kind of being a bit of a pain just because I was fussy. I couldn't go outside and play because it was raining, and I was mad he wouldn't take me to the video store to go rent it. And I remember just going outside begrudgingly and just like deciding to play in the rain. He came out there and fussed at me. And it's all because I was really mad we couldn't go rent Ernest Scared Stupid because I knew it was on VHS. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Before we start deep diving and going through Ernest Scared Stupid, a couple things that I want to touch on. Just Ernest himself. So my first experience with Ernest was actually, the Hey Vern, It's Ernest show on
Me too.
CBS. Yeah, so that ran for one season for 13 episodes in 1988. Jim Varney earned a Daytime Emmy for his performance, and of course, the series would be on reruns on the Family Channel in the early 90s, and I think that's how I also caught it. But Ernest was created by Varney and the Nashville advertising agency, Cardin and Cherry, both of which have directed all of the Ernest projects. Primarily, Cherry is the one that took the director's seat for the vast majority of the films. And it started out as local TV ad campaigns. And the only national products that were promoted by the Ernest character was Coca-Cola, Chex, and Taco John's. So the first Ernest commercial filmed in 1980 advertised an appearance by the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. at Beach Bend Park, an amusement park near Bowling Green, Kentucky. So we have the going from doing local ads, and then much like a lot of things, you saw that with like Pee Wee and stuff. These
Mm-hmm.
little tiny regional things, whether it be on the stage or local market television, ascend to like a national airtime, and then it gets syndicated. So that basically the popularity of Hey Vern, It's Ernest led to all of these movies. So in '87 we get Ernest Goes to Camp, '88 Ernest Saves Christmas, 1990 you mentioned Ernest Goes to Jail. Of course, we get Scared Stupid in '91, and then 1993 Ernest Rides Again. But the biggest thing about Scared Stupid is it's following the success of Ernest Saves Christmas, which did really well. So this is the fourth and final installment of an Ernest film to be released under the Touchstone Disney label. The Ernest team originally signed a 3-picture deal, but after the success of Ernest Saves Christmas, which had a budget of $6.5 million and made $28.2 in box office receipts, the deal was extended from 3 to 6. However, Ernest Scared Stupid performed below expectations, causing Disney to prematurely end their contract. So I had mentioned Saves Christmas, 6.5 budget, 28.2 box office. Ernest Scared Stupid, 9.6 budget, only made 14.1, so it only made about roughly half of the box office that Saves Christmas did. And John Cherry seems to believe that that's because the tone of this was how parents seeing it, taking kids to see it. I mean, it's admittedly, I think it's pretty dark, and it's pretty scary for what's supposed to be a kid's film. So, yeah, after this is when Touchstone and Disney was like, yeah, you know what, we're done here. So then after that, we're followed with the direct-to-video entries. Ernest Goes to School, Slam Dunk Ernest, Ernest Goes to Africa, and Ernest in the Army. But all 9 were either directed by John Cherry or Coke Sam's. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit that they started. Varney creates this with Cherry and the advertising agency, and then those guys all together continue to go on to direct even after the theatrical run's over. It's like, oh, we'll still make some direct to video stuff. Looking at all these movies, I think I watched Ernest Goes to Jail. I think I watched Ernest Goes to Camp and Saves Christmas at some point, and along with Scared Stupid. But post Stupid, Rides Again, and everything else, I don't think I saw any of these. Did you watch any of the direct-to-video entries?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I remember seeing the advertisements for Ernest Rides Again before it came out in theaters, and wanted to see it, but obviously didn't get around to doing it. And then when I rented it, very forgettable. I didn't even finish it. It just didn't pull me in. And then Slam Dunk Ernest, because I like basketball. I watched it once. It was fine for what it was.
Kareem's in there, right?
Kareem's in it, and so is Joanna Man and Vanessa Williams' ex-boyfriend in Eraser. He was also like the Army recruiter in Saved by the Bell in that one episode.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah, he's part of the team that Ernest plays on. So
Okay.
him and Joanna Man are on that. I just remember like, hey, it's DJ, and it's the Army instructor from Saved by the Bell. I don't know who Kareem was at the time. You know, I wasn't really knee deep in basketball, but I knew who he was. And then I think the last one I saw was Ernest Goes to School. And I think after that, I was just like, these just aren't as enjoyable as Scared Stupid and Goes to Jail, because my brother was a bigger fan of Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Saves Christmas. Like, he genuinely liked those two, especially Ernest Saves Christmas. I tried watching them. They just didn't pull me in, you know, like those two did. I don't know what it was. I just find them more enjoyable, the better writing, the characters are more fun, and I just like the stories they're trying to tell better than that. And Hey Vern, I remember watching that on Saturday mornings on CBS and finding it to be fun but kind of creepy at times because of the Dr. Otto character I think that he plays, like with the hand on his head.
Yeah.
That, and when he plays a baby in the crib. I
Yeah.
find that very weird. Like, I'm seeing this baby with Ernest's head. I'm like, what is this? And it was just trying to understand what I'm seeing, but it was a lot like watching Pee Wee Herman.
It
is
was.
just he's a big kid doing all these kind of random, crazy, silly things. Only difference between the two is that Ernest works. Pee Wee Herman does not.
Right.
He's got blue collar jobs and whatever on the show or in the commercials or in the movies, he is doing work. Whereas Pee Wee Herman's just a big kid living in an awesome house. And Ernest, as you see, if you don't remember, Ernest Goes to Jail, he's got a pretty elaborate house, so much like Pee Wee Herman, with all these kind of cool gizmos and contraptions all over the house. So, and a
Th-
dog.
this is going to be, I mean, this is the thing. After watching this, I feel that I need to go and watch Goes to Jail, I'll save Saves Christmas for Christmas time,
Yeah.
and Goes to Camp. I don't really have much interest in Ernest Rides Again, but I mean, maybe I'll just watch them all at some point because they are easily accessible to either watch on YouTube, which Ernest Scared Stupid is. There's one upload and then there's an official upload that's free with ads, or if you have premium, it's just free anyway. So go and watch that, or just follow through along with us. One other thing that I wanted to point out, here's some alternate titles for Ernest Scared Stupid: Ernest and the Curse, Ernest and the Trolls, and Ernest Scared Stiff, which Ernest Scared Stiff they thought was a little too provocative, a little too oriented and
Kids wouldn't have
sounding.
understood that. They would have just
I
thought
know.
dead. People just get
I kind of like I like the title Ernest Scared Stiff.
I do too. And as a kid, it didn't make much sense to me. Did he scare stupid, like someone who's stupid? Like
Yeah.
I didn't get like Ernest is scared stupid. Like that's what the title means. But as a kid, I was just like didn't understand it. But I was all about loved the poster art with him jumping out of or his head popping out of a pumpkin in a graveyard and
Yeah.
everything. So it was I just rolled with it because it's Ernest fighting trolls and it was awesome.
Yeah. John Cherry went on to say that he thinks making it too scary hurt the box office by at least $10 million. Do you believe that? Do you I mean, do you buy into the facts? Because
No.
You think about the movie, is it Witches? I seem to remember that one.
The Witches.
Yeah. That one was creepy. You think about something. I don't have box office receipts for it, but did Return to Oz go to theaters at all, or was that
It
a
did.
direct?
It was a bomb too, but freaky as hell.
What are
And that's the thing. A lot of I think, and that's what I think it's a consensus of anybody who grew up either in the '80s, at the tail end of the '80s, or even the early '90s when a lot of that stuff was still readily available. All your video stores are on TV. Kid movies that were adult. I mean, like they were put in adult situations. You think about the Goonies, the Monster Squad.
Mhm.
There are movies where the kids are, they're being attacked by legitimate threats. They're using language. It's, even though, yeah, they come out all right in the end, but they're put in very, tense and sometimes downright scary situations. And Jim Henson, and I like to champion what he said. Children need to experience fear at some point in their childhood because that's a part of life. And to just stunt them of like never exposing them to anything that's scary. Like I think about like I said, watching The Wizard of Oz as a child, like, yeah, I was genuinely creeped out by that and amongst other things. And
I think you got a point there. I think the fact that I wasn't exposed to the scary stuff as much as a kid made me the way that I was for a long time, where I was afraid of everything. Like it went beyond movies, like carnival rides, amusement park stuff.
I was scared, afraid of those. Anything that would move really fast, like the little dragon roller coaster for children, like oh god,
Yeah, right.
And haunted houses. The first one I went to, I think it was 4 years old, and it terrified me. Then my dad surprised me by showing up and not knowing and grabbed me from behind,
Mm.
and I fell to pieces right there at the carnival, just screaming and crying. So no, it took me a long time to get over like legitimate scary stuff, but the children's stuff, like I remember Dark Crystal, creeped me out. The Skeksis I thought were creepy as hell in that movie, along with some of the other things. And House Chakotay speaks for itself. Like there were things I was genuinely terrified of, but they didn't give me nightmares. I was like, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I want to rent that, or you just as we all do. Like once you see something, if it's on TV or accessible, you're kind of pulled into it because as a child, you're naturally curious about something you probably shouldn't be watching. and
Yeah.
the horror stuff was definitely number one on that list.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
and I know you, I'm sure others too, going to the video stores, in the late 80s and early 90s, like you go to the kids section, pick out whatever you want or whatever other section, and you go check out the horror movies. Strictly out of curiosity,
Or
like
just look at it from a distance,
yeah, I would generally I go pick up my He-Man tape for the weekend at Beyond Video, and then while my mom's checking, beeline to the horror section and look at the Freddy Krueger and Jaws boxes,
Mm.
and just look at the back of the oh my, what is that? What's happening in that scene?
You're braver than I was, man. I wouldn't even have went and picked them up. I would have just looked at the covers and been like, "That's good enough." I probably
Yeah,
shouldn't have looked at it, and then been on my way. Because
yeah.
I remember my cousin John. I went to go stay at his place, and he had it, and this was officially licensed. Like I just had just a knockoff version of it, but he had one of those uh tables, Nintendo tables that you could set your TV on, and it had a shelf underneath you could put your NES on.
Yes.
And he put a couple of stickers on the door, the side door that would open up, and he had one of those lenticular Jason Voorhees ones on there for whatever reason. And I couldn't go to sleep that night just because I knew it was there. Like any little bit of light that would come in the room hit it just perfectly to where I could just see it all night. And I don't think I went to sleep. And if I did, it wasn't for too long, maybe an hour or two.
Dude, I can relate, man. Like,
but it's funny in hindsight looking back on it now. Just like that's all that took to scare me that way when I was young. And when I say young, I was probably 6, 7. So
I mean, like, yeah, I felt like I was still exposed because to things like that. I remember my aunt Cindy babysat me for one afternoon, and her and her friend Kate had rented Nightmare 4, and that was the first time I ever saw any live footage. And it was the sequence in the classroom where he grabs the girl with the asthma,
yeah,
and the robot hand. I'm like, that's all I saw, and
no.
I don't know how I didn't have nightmares after I saw it, but I remember just kind of being like drawn to it, but also terrified at the same time. And it would be not until I think fifth grade when I finally saw like more of that, and I was scarred for life after that. And there's no bullshit when I say that. My parents can attest to how bad it was. But stuff like this in Wizard of Oz, Fairy Tale Theater, there were genuine moments that I was creeped out by, and would get scared and maybe get a little nervous before going to bed, but not so much where I was like, oh my god, like I need Freddy Krueger to get my brother first so I can make a getaway, which was a genuine mindset I had as a kid.
Well, no, see that you let your brother fall asleep first, and then you're fine.
Oh no, I needed him to sleep because we shared the same bed for a while, so I needed him to sleep closer to the steps. So if Freddy comes up the steps, he's going to grab my little brother first, and I can make a run for it. That was my logic.
Yeah.
What a shitty brother I was,
Yeah.
I was just like, man, where's my He-Man guts? Like all right, you asshole, you got to go through me if you want to get to my little brother. Like,
yeah, no, you were more like Skeletor in that regard.
Very much so, and just kind of laugh on my way down the steps, or like in the episode of The Simpsons where Milhouse leaves Bart and Lisa, and like Milhouse, there's no time, and just keeps running. And Simpson fans will know what I'm talking about, but it's I think about a lot about what it was like to be scared so easily as a child watching. Hell, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Dude,
it had a lot of genuinely creepy stuff in it. Not every episode, but some.
The intro was enough.
Yes,
sometimes
with that clown in the attic.
Yeah.
Or
just the boat rocking at the beginning.
Yeah.
And just how the music cues in, and then you hear the floor creaking. And
but it was a good time to be a kid, because I think about now, like my brother still does not. I even spoke to him specifically last weekend about this particular movie. He says, I'm not ready to show them that right now because of, and somehow my oldest nephew claims he saw Wizard of Oz. I don't know how, I don't know where. Even my brother's like, he didn't watch it with us. So it's hard to say, but I am kind of curious what it'll be like when my nephews get around to seeing this, or something that's a little bit more risque, but it's meant for children, but it's not bubblegum Disney bullshit.
I mean, yeah, but oddly enough,
Disney today is not what Disney we grew up on.
Yeah,
It's not.
but it's also too. You think about it here being Touchstone Pictures. That was Disney's way, like the Buena Vista stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, we'll put it over there so it doesn't have the Disney labeling
Yeah.
on it. Really, yeah.
They don't take chances like that today. They just want to make shitty live action program where the kids are acting all over the damn place, and the most safest, and movies, and oh hell, we're not going to get into that
Yeah,
bullshit
well,
anyway.
before I
Yeah.
get you back on that track, let's start breaking it down, man.
Yeah.
So let's get into some Ernest Scared Stupid. So happy 34th anniversary to the day. I love it that we're doing it exactly on the day.
Me too, man. Thank you, Jim Varney. God bless you, bud.
Yeah. So we start out Touchstone Pictures here, and then let me scroll down so I can properly list off the movies that are here. So
Yeah. What did you think about seeing this opening credit sequence with all these public domain horror movies?
I loved it. It's a good use of public domain proper like movies.
Yeah.
So a John Cherry film, we get Jim Varney making it, and he's going to make his faces, his signature faces that he likes to make throughout the little intro here. So we get boom, Ernest Scared Stupid. And then we're going to go through a collage. So the movies that are listed here in no particular order, we have Nosferatu, White Zombie, Phantom from Space, The Brain from Planet Eros, The Screaming Skull, Missile to the Moon, The Hideous Sun Demon, The Giant Gila Monster, The Killer Shrews, Battle Beyond the Sun, and The Little Shop of Horrors. So those are the clips that you get. So it's just like, here's a clip, and here's Barney doing like a face or doing a little dance or something.
And he kind of reacts to the shot from that movie. Like the opening shot is him like looking up, and then it cuts to like you see like this haunted castle. So it looks like Varney's outside this haunted castle looking up at it. And then you see like various, the various shots of like, Screaming Skull coming at you, and it just seems to be it's so edited so well that it's like he's reacting to every shot from these movies as if he's there witnessing it. It's just a lot of fun with a fun, creepy,
The
harmony
main theme,
score.
yeah, the main theme here rules.
Yeah, there's Screaming Skull right there. Which I'm just like, oh my god! Like to think years later, I'd have grown up, watched that on Mr. Science Theater, and become such a fan of that. Like, oh my god, it's in the opening montage. With
Of
just
course.
fun little monster effects thrown in too, with blood and thing, and it's just a lot of fun. If you're a horror movie fan, like this is just a wonderful appetizer for this movie.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid generally wanting to know what each movie was. I had no idea what any of them were. There was nothing in this montage that I recognized, so I was always intrigued. It's definitely in the theater when I saw it, and then on video, I was one of the best thing. I just sit there and just kind of watched it. What is that? What's that from?
And of course, we have Eartha Kitt here in the
Yeah,
credits.
the third Catwoman.
I'll save some of the trivia on her when we get to her actually showing up in the film. The casting here by Ruth Lambert. Keep that in mind when you're thinking of Eartha Kitt a little bit later on.
I always thought this image of that lady dancing with the odd hair, I was like, what is that from? It was just that one always stuck out to me. That particular sequence there.
Not only that, but if you're watching this on VHS and she's the lady on the left's not entirely cut out,
Yeah.
that almost looks like snakes to a degree too.
Yeah.
Or signature Varney shots.
Yeah.
So here is
So
Coke
cool.
Sam's as co-producer, and then Nosferatu rising up, the classic shot.
There's the Sun Demon.
Yeah, which that looks awesome.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
So there's the with the lip. Yeah, I can't do it that good.
Yeah, it's just a real treat. And there's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I think, right there. I think that's a shot from. That's what it looks like. I think that's the brain. Shit.
The brain shit.
I feel like it's called like the atomic brain, or the brain that wouldn't die, or something like that.
And a little eyeball in the mouth.
Yeah,
It's always
to tie in with the eyeball that you
Yeah.
just saw before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
just-
screenplay, Coke Sam's. Surprised John Cherry or Jim Varney didn't have any
Yeah. Well, I
do
think
with this.
too that I think one of them too had a something from childhood about a troll that lived in a tree. And and I think there was kind of a bit of a like, they wanted to do something like Halloween related, and I think that was something that was kind of the germ, the seed of the idea. It was like a fun story that he had from childhood about a troll that lived in a tree, and I think it just kind of snowballed from there.
So after we get through our opening credits, Briarville, Missouri, long ago. So we start the movie. This little girl is being chased through the woods. Pretty. She screams really well too.
Yeah, and this was in the trailer, because the trailer opened up with this girl running, and then when she turns and looks and screams, the trailer would cut to Jim Varney making this weird face with his finger in his mouth. It's just like, it was a great way of like, like she's screaming, "Oh my God, it's Ernest," kind of thing. You didn't see the hand come out of there. So to
Yeah.
see this in the theater, it's like, oh my God, like, and then yeah, it goes right into it. They caught the troll. And this is a pretty intense opening, because as a kid, I didn't recognize that this is Jim Varney playing, uh, Phineas Worrell, and it's like the villagers are selling this, like that one family is like crying, "We'll get you back, you'll see," as they've captured Trantor the troll, chained him up, and they're gonna bury him alive in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, and it's I don't know. I could see how you could not, as a kid, be like, oh yeah, it's Jim Varney playing this character, but as you're watching it as an adult, as you know how the story is supposed to
Oh
play
yeah.
out, just the way that he's talking and everything, you're like, yeah, it's definitely Jim
And
Varney.
he does. I mean, and one of the things, if you've not seen any of the Ernest films, he always manages to work in more than one character, where he's playing impressions of things, which he would do on on the TV show, and all the other movies that he's done. He will do multiple characters, as if like there's something that just he does, or they manage to work him into playing multiple roles,
Yeah,
in general. And like the opening here, where he's playing a serious character, is not meant to be funny.
yeah. Later on in the movies, when we get more of the multiple personalities
Yeah.
that he has, but here's where the tree comes into play, puts it on top of the burial site, and of
Yes,
course,
Trantor puts the curse on Phineas, but before he's buried, he says that one day one of your kin will release me, and victory will last be mine.
yeah, and the whole thing with putting the curse on the family is that each descendant is going to get stupider and stupider
Yeah.
and stupider.
Which and then it cuts to that this little girl here, Elizabeth, is giving a presentation to her school class about the legend of Trantor the troll, as a local legend, as part of her report.
Did you watch Third Rock from the Sun, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So this is the girl that I guess is dating most of the time, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's
I
character.
just now remember, now that you said that. I was
Yeah,
like, I completely forgot about that. So yes, that's good on you, because I completely had forgotten that she was on that show and played his girlfriend for a while
yeah.
on the
See,
show.
I never watched Third Rock from the Sun, but I was looking at her filmography because I was really curious about the kids and stuff, other
Yeah.
things that they had been in, and saw she was in that, and looked up as she was older. She was also in a couple episodes of Boy Meets World as well. So I was like, all right, yeah, that kind of checks out around that time period. But yeah, Elizabeth tells her story. The teacher, the one thing I appreciate the most about this movie too, man, is the Halloween decorations around this time period.
Damn right.
Not only in the classroom, but just throughout the town. We'll see a couple of decorations throughout there too. I just love that old school look to this, because we got this all in the 90s, but also this stuff was there and present in the 80s and the 70s, maybe even a little bit of the 60s, but I think 70s, 80s, and 90s is prevalent for these types of decorations.
I mean, the decorations where you have like the skeleton, where you can move the limbs to make a certain pose, and the witches, they had like extendable legs to make it look like they're wearing like stockings. It was kind of like this kind of flexy paper material that you would have, and the witches looked genuinely creepy with these long noses and long chins and craggly faces, and Halloween decorations for kids in the classroom, like they weren't this like it's nice and fluffy shit. Like it was creepy to look at, but fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And of course, nowadays people are like, "Oh, you're gonna go to hell," and all this other bullshit. And
Well,
trunk or
well,
treat now. It's all about
well,
trunk or treat and whatever.
well. Speaking of bullshit, one of the Murdoch boys over here says that's bull.
Yeah, this is a Nightmare on Troll Street. I read it in a book, fat ass. That's what she's thinking. She doesn't say it, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I
that's what
mean,
she's
yeah.
thinking.
Even the teacher's just like, all right, whatever.
Damn, and they're the kids of the mayor, just so you know. So they are prominent. They are the prominent bullies slash assholes to the kids in this story here.
And present on screen right now, this is Kenny. He's going to be our main lead kid with his sweet ass bowl cut.
Yep.
I mean, this was the style back then. We all
It's
had
not
one.
full bowl, but it's heading there.
It's not full bowl, but that's like
it's close. We're heading that
close.
direction. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh
And
man,
he doesn't mind standing up to. I mean, look at this. See, people don't understand. They call anyone with long hair in the 90s and 80s is a mullet. That's a mullet, not anyone who just has long hair. Well, they had a mullet. Like people clearly don't get it. I had a mullet. I had hair that looked like that with blonde hair. So I know what a mullet is. That's a mullet. So
I
in the
briefly
live action He-Man movie did not have a mullet, idiots.
I briefly had like a rat tail. I never had like full blown mullet like this. Though I could today if I ever decide to.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, I see
just
some college kids bring that look back, and they look like
Dude,
assholes.
yeah, the mullets come back.
Ugh,
again, so.
there's nothing flattering or cool about that look.
So this is the main Murdoch kid, and then if
Yeah.
you look in behind Kenny, that's the
Younger brother. Yeah,
younger brother. Well, I guess technically they're the same age, right? Because
they're in the same class, but the one with the mullet clearly looks a bit older. You know, and maybe he's held back several years too, just by looking at him,
yeah, there we go. Let's go with that. He's been held back.
Yeah.
Which they could have worked that into the script, you know, since he seems
it's
bigger than
it's hard
else.
to say what was cut out of this movie, and there
Absolutely.
probably were little snippets of dialogue that because it's a tight movie, and I could see them maybe having things like that. You know what? It was in the script, or we filmed it and we had to cut it for time, because that's not a focus, but that would add context, I think, and of course Kenny and Elizabeth, they got a little bit of an under the radar thing for each other here. They're buddies, but you clearly know at some point,
At some point, stuff's going to go down. And speaking of going down, there's some noise going on outside the classroom.
Our introduction to Ernest, when someone's screaming, "Ernest, wait now!" and the trucks and the teacher's like, she's aware of it. It's like, okay, this is just Tuesday,
Yeah.
And this is when Elizabeth gives the explanation that finished the sentence would get dumber and dumber, and then you cut to Ernest right here, making the greatest introduction of a face with this awesome contraption.
It's very elaborate, but I'm trying to understand what the point of this was supposed to be. Is it supposed to just be like a street cleaner?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Like,
yeah, and this is the kind of stuff he has in Ernest Goes to Jail. Like his house is filled with stuff like that, and that's what is very Pee Wee Herman like. Yeah.
So Ernest is the sanitation guy for the town.
Yeah,
he's the trash man essentially.
He is the local cleanup man for the town, and the only one.
Yeah.
The trash, junk, cleaning, it's all on him. He is Mr. Blue Collar in Briarville, Missouri here.
Yeah, man, he's the Robbie Byers of this. So of course we get just the usual dialogue that Ernest talking about. How would one describe how he articulates himself when he's talking? How would we describe the dialogue that he presents? Not like just in general, not only in this movie, but as a whole, like how he is, because he has similarities to Pee-wee, but they're drastically different too.
I think in his mind, he clearly likes to fuck around. He likes to entertain himself. And he also likes to present himself like he's a lot stronger, more stoic, more smarter than he really is. And then it doesn't take much. All you got to do is look at him funny, and he's like he clearly knows he's full of shit. If you call him out on it, then he'll acknowledge it with a face. But he really wants to present himself like he's more confident than he really is.
Yeah.
That he's more competent than he really is. Like he's a sweet spirit. He gets along with everybody. And of course, Rimshot, who is in Ernest Goes to Jail, is a absolute treasure, and never get tired of these two interacting with each other. And a Rimshot was a name we tossed around for like our first dog, and I still
Oh,
to this
really?
day, if I ever get a dog, I would not. I'd love to have a Jack Russell and name it Rimshot. I really would. I think it'd be cool as hell because Rimshot in this movie in Ernest Goes is absolutely adorable. He's fun, and the way he's worked into like doing stuff, it's just precious.
And not only that, but just I always love watching animals on screen that are capable of just doing stuff. I mean, acting essentially for them,
Yeah,
and doing all these cool tricks that they can do that the filmmakers can use in a certain way to make them do certain things. But Jack Russell's, man, like the energy level on these dogs is unmatched. Like
yes,
they never get tired.
no, and Rimshot doesn't either. And he is there to the end to help out Ernest with whatever it is that's going on. And as Ernest is also getting rid of some trash,
He falls in.
gets falls in and asks Rimshot for help, and Rimshot ends up, cutting the trash compactor on by accident. And as this is going on, Ernest is making his last stand to keep this thing open up with this piece of metal that breaks, a shovel, and then decides, wait a minute, I'm going to die. Let me fuck around here for a little bit.
And this is the clip that we showed you before we
Yeah,
started the episode. So
and it's meant to like like he's just looking for anything to put in the gears to kind of block it up. But before he does it, he's like, I got to goof off a little bit here with this doll that I found in the
yeah,
trash. And Rimshot's like, help Rimshot, and he goes out and just hits this little rubber horn on the side there, like he's trying to anything he can to like help out.
yeah. Oh, and Ernest removes the batteries from the controller that he had, and he's like, haha, thinking that's going to work. But then there's an arc between the
Yeah.
two, and it restarts everything. So as the
He-
kids are walking through, Kenny and Elizabeth are walking. That's when Rimshot's honking the horn. Kenny's like, oh, all right, we'll just pull this up. And then Kenny kind of saves the
does a
day
John Wayne impression to let Elizabeth know, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a hero.
Yeah. That was a
And
decent.
she's not taking it. Oh, you're full of shit.
It was a decent John Wayne, though.
I mean, you know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a kid, and to think a kid his age is doing a John Wayne impression, like,
Yeah.
I can
So-
respect that. As we see, Ernest has been compacted with his legs backwards.
Yeah, and he
You know.
falls face down
Yeah.
right here. So his head is over in this part from this scene right here. So he's right here, and it falls down flat on the ground.
Look
I
at
got a
Rimshot
good.
with his little tongue hanging out there.
Yeah, I
Wait,
got a.
no, it's not. It's part of the truck. My bad.
I could see how you would say.
It does look like the tongue, but it's a little. It's something on the truck there.
I mean, it could have been a pause of him when his tongue was out. Maybe he was like lit, like
Yeah,
sticking
because
his
it's so
tongue
cute
out
when
or something.
dogs are like staying still, but their tongue is just kind of sticking out just a little bit there. And here's
So
Kenny's dad. He's the local sheriff, and he's being confronted by the mayor about old lady Hackmore's place, who we've yet to be introduced, is covered in junk, trash. It needs to be cleaned up because it's an eyesore to the town. And Ernest is supposed to be cleaning it up. And the mayor lets him know, if he can't do his job, you fire him. And he's like, oh, look, there he goes right now. And he's going away from the Hackmore place.
and of course, the kids are in there, and Kenny makes a point to say like, "Hey, we can get in trouble for doing this," and Ernest makes a point to say, "That's true, but what's the line he uses, Tyler?"
He pretty much it's I can't remember exactly, but he's pretty much just kind of like I'm considered, I am my own leader. Like I make my own laws. I mean, that's not what he says, but he's going into his mentality of like, I'm a tough guy, and you kids you're gonna be perfectly fine because I run my own show here.
And
But,
as
oh
he
boy,
says that, they're the blue lights.
Yep. Which he has no idea that his Kenny and Elizabeth are in there. He's just stopping Ernest because he's not doing his job.
Yeah, it's like you need to get to place, and then this is when he notices them because they make a little bit of a noise, just enough for the dad to hear. It's like get out, get in the car. He tells him, Ernest, you gotta go clean it up. So then we get to the place, and I love it. There's no trespassing sign, and there's all just weird, like there's trash everywhere.
Nothing but trouble.
Yeah,
like the junkyard in Valkenvania. And I found this to be kind of creepy because the music is moody and atmospheric as Rimshot and Ernest. Like, if it wasn't for Ernest talking to Rimshot, I think I would have been a lot more alarmed, because even though he's on edge, he's keeping the mood light as you're walking through this very
Like these
off-putting
sculptures, like the
yeah, metal
metal
sculptures out of junk.
sculptures. Yeah,
Yeah, they're very cool.
yeah. One of them's on fire. It's
Yeah,
like,
and it's just like, oh god, here we go.
I mean, look at it, man. Like, nope.
And there's a dragon right there. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
and of course, Ernest, he's scared out of his mind.
And just the front door, if you kind of notice the side, and then as he approaches it, like made
It's
in a
got these
way.
outstretched hands in metal, like that you can kind of is the door knocker. And he's like, oh, I guess she's not here. She's probably out biting the heads off chickens or whatever they do. And Eartha Kitt scared the shit out of me as a kid. I was like, oh my god, like I always said, creepy old ladies, always, scared me. And then eventually, well, the mood changes with her, but she comes out angry and not wanting to be disturbed. And Ernest just trying to tell her, look, I have to clean this place up, and she ain't having it because this is her artwork. This is her life. It's only expressions of the soul, as she says.
Eartha Kitt, when she auditioned for this, the casting director for the film would later do the casting for Emperor's New Groove. So, of course, if you hear Eartha Kitt's voice, you kind of know that she ended up lending it as a favor to be in that film. And obviously, both of those released by Disney. So there's a little bit of the connection there. But Eartha Kitt, you mentioned earlier, third Catwoman. So yeah. I feel like aside from her voice, when you watched this as a kid, did you recognize Eartha Kitt? You're like, it's Catwoman.
Not at all, because as a kid, I was not a fan of her as Catwoman because I was fixated on Julie Newmar.
Mm.
So anyone that wasn't her, I'm like, that's not Julie Newmar. Even though I obviously as an adult, I appreciate her performance as Catwoman is perfect. But I did not register that was the same lady. I just, obviously I had seen Eartha Kitt for this and Batman, but didn't recognize it. So in my mind, I'm seeing this as like a bigger impression of she's playing old lady Hackmore in Ernest Scared Stupid. That left a bigger impression on me as a kid, and eventually would start to realize who she was, what she was in.
I like her outfit a lot here too, with the goggles. Welding goggles essentially.
Yeah. Pretty hardcore old lady here.
Yeah.
But not too long around this time too, she was in Boomerang as an older woman that sleeps with Eddie Murphy, and she looks completely different in that. Yeah, and she's just she's aware of Ernest's family history, so she pretty much tries to get out of here.
And this it's going to lead to an element later on in the movie, but she is clearly aware of what is surrounding this town, the dangers, that the impending doom, essentially, and she knows that sooner or later that other shoe is going to fall. So she's kind of been the one sort of just keeping it together, keeping it from happening up until this point.
Yeah, because as we'll soon learn, the battleground for what's going to happen is right behind her house a ways.
Yeah. I didn't notice this on her turtleneck here on Elizabeth Duckhead. Yeah, you remember that brand?
Yes, I do, and it wasn't a brand I enjoyed wearing. Much like Bugle Boy.
Yeah, old Bugle Boy. But a good transitional scene here from Eartha Kitt kind of yelling, going into Elizabeth screaming.
Yeah.
And it turns out that they've built this haunted house
to lure the bullies into, the mayor's boys.
The Murdochs.
The Murdochs, excuse me. God, thank you. I had a complete massive brain fart.
50 cents per kid. That's kind of pricey for a haunted house,
Well, I guess that would have, because 50 cents back then could have gotten you a pack of cards, a couple shots in an arcade game, so that was a decent little fee.
Yeah.
But as a kid watching this, it was just a fun contraption, nothing scary about it. But in their mind, they think if they lure the Murdochs in here, they're going to get freaked out. But it's a fun. The kids put this together, so it's pretty impressive, and I thought it was pretty cool as a kid.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Not
But
it's not as cool as what we'll see here in a little bit,
yeah, absolutely.
but it's still a fun little. Like, it would have been like a fun playhouse, to like have battles in or something like that.
Does that say door of death? I was
Yeah,
trying
it
to.
looks like poop of death.
I was kind of like poop of death doesn't make no sense.
But the spray painting of ghosts and the orange
Yeah.
spider web there too. It's just and then all of a sudden the house starts shaking and they realize it's the Murdochs.
Yep. So they gotta get out of there, and
And
it falls apart very easily.
yeah, as it would, made by a couple of kids with cardboard and a little bit of wood, and you know it's the kid's imagination. You think things are going to be a lot grander than they really are.
Yeah. So we
So
go
then
to.
goes to the city garage. He can talk to Ernest about, oh my god, they wrecked your haunted house. And Kenny is just Ernest is like almost like a bigger brother
Mhm.
to Kenny. Like he confides in him. They hang out and talk, and he just Ernest. He's good with kids. Just like Pee Wee Herman. He doesn't talk down to them.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah. So it
he
makes it
wants to boost their
easy.
confidence, and just I understand. Like we're gonna make things right here, Kenny.
Yeah. And it makes it easy for the kids to want to approach him and be around him, but not in a weird way, you know?
No, and that's something that I hate, that some asshole decides I'm going to review old movies and decides to like paint this ridiculous idea in a movie that clearly is not there, but they do it because they think they're being funny. Much
I
like
hope
saying that Batman and Robin are lovers because they, it's like, dude, this shut
I've
the
never
fuck up.
seen I've never seen anyone take that approach when reviewing this.
Me neither. I just know
So
people do that kind of shit
yeah,
with not with this, but just with
yeah.
movies in general. Like they just think they're being cute and funny by painting a picture that isn't there.
But I love while they're talking, Ernest just keeps jacking the truck
Yeah.
up.
And just not paying attention and just going to pushing it to the max.
And then this is when it switches gears when Ernest tells him that you gotta have the higher ground in order to defeat your enemies.
And
So
goes into these this montage of personalities of a Roman emperor, could be Julius Caesar, could be Alexander the Great right there, to the Ottomans, which
yeah, the
was
Ottomans.
when I learned about the Ottomans in, I think, 9th or 10th grade, like that's what Ernest was talking about. And yeah, these awesome, and the old lady is a staple of his. He has done
Yep.
that particular character a lot.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites on Hey
Me
Brian,
too.
It's Ernest.
Yeah, it shows when Ernest goes to jail, and here's the farmer.
Yeah.
For someone who has a very distinct voice, he can tweak it so much, and it's like you feel like you've seen the people he's doing impressions of.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we've seen a lady who looks like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And acts like that. As they were cutting back to the jacket starting to bend a little bit,
Yeah.
and Kenny's just having a great time. Rimshot's just watching.
Remshot, of course, noticing what's going on. It's like, yeah, that's not looking good, Dad.
Lumberjack, back to the Emperor.
So it's just bouncing back to all these guys, and he's essentially telling Kenny, like, this is going to be your way to defeat the bullies.
Even though he's just kind of rambling, and he just means the high ground, but he's not saying anything specific. So when Kenny's like, I know what we need a tree house. Like, I thought we needed dress shields. And then
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
the jack takes off, falls out, and breaks
Right through the
back.
mayor's window.
Yeah, and he knows immediately it's Ernest. Direct hit. Way to go, Ernest. Do you smell fish?
Yeah, the randomness of the do you smell fish line.
Yeah,
Was,
I assumed he was like mocking the mayor, like, hey, he smells like fish.
got a good pop
But then
out of me.
Ernest decides to take time from his job to take the kids out into the forest to help them find the perfect tree for building a tree house.
And I'm just sitting here the entire time. I'm like, how much poison oak are you guys potentially
Well,
walking
thankfully they're
through?
all wearing pants, so just got to watch the arms and hands.
Yeah, but still, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, watch for snakes. And this is a good part where he's knocking on the trees, saying like, no, that's not good enough. He's like, this one's perfect, and it falls over. It's a good touch.
And
And
termites. And this one here, yeah. Inhabited as bird shits in his face.
Yeah, like right all don't have the still of it here, but you can see the remnants on the
his
hat.
but it goes right in his eyes.
Yeah.
and then they keep wanting. Then they find this little holler,
It's
which
like
is like, oh boy,
no.
that.
It's like no. If I was Kenny, I was like Ernest, no.
And of course, the kids are apprehending, but Kenny's like, no, get your ass in there. Go on, follow. I gotta bring up the rear here. Which, yeah, I think anyone else, as intriguing as it would be, like, I'm not going in there. Hell no.
That's why Kenny's in the back. He's like,
Yeah.
you guys go ahead.
You go ahead first. If something happens, I can make a getaway quicker.
Yeah, so you're kind of like Kenny that way.
Yeah, very much so in this moment here. And as they're wandering around through this, looks like kind of marshland almost.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of I think that they call like the old man's beard in the trees as they come across this massive tree. I mean, that is an awesome looking tree. It's clearly a set,
Yeah.
but like
Soundstage for sure.
Soundstage, but it looks amazing. Like that is a beautiful set. Like if I came across a tree that looked like that, of course not that secluded away from society,
Right.
I'd have been all about like, oh, this is awesome. We got to play on this.
Yeah, and Kenny's like, all right, let's get to work, and then we get
because Ernest has collected all this junk and he gives it to the kids to make the ultimate treehouse. And not only that, he's going to help them put it all together.
Yeah, what a guy! So we got our montage. He puts a nail in the tree, which
cut down to the roots inside the ground that are kind of waking Trantor up. Let you know, like, oh boy! And then this little ghost comes out of the ground.
I like the little ghost effect that comes here, and then Rimshot chases it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a nice little foreshadow. Like, oh boy, shit's going to go down here soon. And O'Leary Hackmore kind of senses a disturbance of the force, so to speak. So, like she starts to write, something's not right.
Yeah, because this is in the vicinity of her property.
Yeah,
and they're getting this shit done fast too. I'm like, man,
and it looks amazing. Like all this stuff. Like they're putting random stuff on shelves, like this old like plastic raccoon and windmills, and they're getting this pizza tossing device, like much like how the turtles had the pizza thrower. Red light bulbs, red light special, a ladder to climb up to the tree. How cool! I mean, look at this. What kid, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old would not be batshit crazy to play in something like this?
Did you have a treehouse as a kid?
No, and I dreamed of it so much because my dad said he would build us, but we didn't have a tree that was meant for that. But I wanted one that had a sliding pole.
Yeah.
That you could slide down. And I know some like playground sets that you can have for your back, or it would have like a fire pole attached to it. I remember, I think the show My Pet Monster had a kid's treehouse with a sliding fire pole. I'm like, I want that. But never got my treehouse as a kid. Did you?
No. Much like you, there wasn't a tree in the yard that would have worked as such. And even then, I don't know. Having a fear of heights as a kid, being afraid of everything, as I said, I don't think I would have enjoyed being up in the treehouse that high, knowing I would have to climb down, or even like take a pole, like a slide down a pole to get down or something either. Like,
well, I'd imagine too, because I feel like most of them always had steps or a ladder you could use to climb up. I only had one tree that I would climb, and I didn't go very far, and just enough to kind of get to the inside the base of it and hang off a branch or two, and then just kind of drop down. But like having a ladder to climb up like that, like a folding ladder that would just drop down. I mean that I'd have been all about that. That'd have been so cool to climb up there. And she's on to it here and calling this is a nightmare. And Ernest said, well, it's not the greatest treehouse in the world, but I wouldn't call it a nightmare. And she's like, what have you done? What have you done to the tree? And she's just, she is not elaborating. She already knows, and she's just losing her mind. And Ernest like, I've already go put out this fire. And Elizabeth's like, I didn't think she ever came out of her house. It's probably just a misunderstanding. I better go calm her down. And
so he
leaves the kids to fend.
Leaves the kids to fend for themselves, and look who it is. The
mighty Murdochs, on the way through the fog. And look at Rimshot just hanging out with him. I love him.
Just think too. I think one of the lines of dialogue here is what the mullet Murdoch says. I think they went through here, and I'm like, how much time passed between them tearing up that one house, Kenny having the conversation with Ernest, and then them building this? This feels like it's all in the same afternoon, right? It has to be because it's the day before Halloween.
Yeah, yeah, it's the day
Yeah.
before Halloween. So, and a lot happens within this 48 to 72 hours,
Yeah.
which is kind of what this movie takes place in. And then come Halloween night, I mean, it's really jam packed with stuff. But
And that's just me mentioning that while we're discussing it. While I was watching it, there wasn't anything in my mind, and I'm like, well, how much time passed between them destroying that initial haunted house and
yeah,
then getting
I
to
kind
the
of took it
treehouse?
like, see, because the kids are all wearing different clothes. So I assumed like the day the haunted house got ruined, Kenny went to speak to Ernest, and then they go looking for the perfect treehouse the next day, and then put all this shit together. So the day before, this is all Hallows Eve. So they spent the day putting the treehouse together, and yeah, look at these. They just both look like assholes. Just look
Yep.
at them. Like
Younger
these are,
Murdoch kind of rocking that quasi bowl cut too.
yeah, just shitty hairdos. They and I'm they just paint the picture like, yeah, you could believe that these two kids would be the ones talking shit because their daddy's the mayor, get away
Yeah.
with anything, and they just like flexing the fact that we're somebody important, or our dad is, so we're just gonna go out and just start shit
Yeah. So they
and start
start,
throwing rocks.
yeah, chucking rocks, man. That's how someone can get hurt. But Kenny and the gang are prepared.
They've got the finest bits of cat food and dog food, and a launcher and a pizza thrower.
Yep.
You
Which
know,
one bit of trivia that I have for everyone here: the pizzas, as we get to, let's get to the dog food, and there's the pizza thrower. The pizzas seen being thrown at the Murdoch bullies who try to attack the kids' treehouse are reused props from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze.
oh, that's a wonderful bit of trivia.
Both movies had the same prop guy, Doug White.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, a little bit of Ninja Turtles in here. The kids,
They
I
really get
think,
hit with pizza
I
and
think,
dog food.
I think there's a little bit when the younger one, well, the smaller one
Yeah.
gets hit initially. I think Mullet Murdoch, you see him kind of like laugh a little bit in
Oh,
the
see, no,
take.
no, you get it reversed.
Oh,
Mullah gets hit first. His brother laughs at it, and that's when he get right there's the shot. You
okay,
go, he gets botched right in the head there with
yeah,
the full pizza.
yeah. That was pretty gnarly. But they're like, "You'll get yours. We'll be
Yeah,
back."
yeah, you're gonna get yours, and they go storm off, covered in slop. And the kids have got their first victory against the Murdochs, and they should be pretty proud.
Do you remember the kid's name on the right here with the
Oh,
glasses?
Joey,
Joey. All right.
Joey, yeah.
Yeah, because we haven't really put Joey over at all.
No, Joey is their third buddy who's a part of this little gang, and kind of feel like he's gotten his fair share, probably being picked on by the Murdochs as well. So they all enjoy that, and it cuts back to nightfall, and Joey's on edge and gets ready to hit Ernest with a slingshot, and Ernest just letting you know, like, I'm on your side, and the kids are all pumped because they've won their first victory, and they're just so proud, and the high ground definitely worked. Ernest like told you, you know. It's like Ernest had his fair share of bullies. He knows how to deal with them.
But then we get the whole thing where Ernest is like, "Yeah, I talked to her, and she said you're not supposed to say this and do this particular thing, and then do this and then knock here."
And so he's
Eh,
explaining that Trantor the troll, and he walks like this, and he lives down. What? He can only be woken up on the night before Halloween.
which is tonight, which is right
Yeah.
now.
When a whirl like you places his hand like so and knocks on the tree, boom, boom, boom. But what are the chances? Oh yeah, and yea, I call thee Trantor. Well, what are the chances of that happening? This and
Yep.
that in the movie theater, because the music is so loud. We're like, oh my god, it's happening right now. It was quite terrifying to see it, and then his hand breaks out,
Mhm.
and then lightning, and the kids are all scared shitless, and they leave Ernest there in the tree by himself. And oh boy, yep, this is Ernest really gets to cut loose and really play up,
Well,
the fear
Ernest
factor.
isn't by himself. He's got a rim shot there.
Rimshot, and they're both uh, just things are kind of moving, and like, oh, and then boom, all of a sudden there's Trantor, and I love that Rimshot's ears go up so effortlessly. How they made that work, I don't know, but it looks amazing and flawless to show how frightened he is.
Yeah.
And Ernest falls down, and I'll never forget hearing that he knows Kung Fu Chow Man. I saw Hulkamania 3 times. Once in Slum, like he watches Hulkamania too. Like this is amazing. I found it so relatable,
Yeah. But
and yeah,
also the shots. It's he's shrouded in darkness.
yeah, they do a great way of like he's here. We're not going to show you what he looks like completely yet,
And they
and it's done so well because it looks genuinely creepy and terrifying for a kids movie.
and we tease some milk, which you
Yeah,
get little teases of this along the way. That's going to have a big payoff later on in the film.
and Ernest can't figure out because Ernest kicks over the cooler and spills the milk,
Yep.
and then Trantor disappears, and Ernest is like, "Where'd he go?"
Yeah, can't
You
figure it
know,
out.
and the kids are still running in the dark, scared shitless, and
Dude, could you imagine like running in forest at night as a kid?
no,
Fuck no.
and no, and knowing where how deep it is, and like that looks like that's a different path. Like they found a different path to get out to the main road. Joey, of course, has got to go in another direction where he lives and gets lost.
Poor Joey.
Poor Joey, and this was terrifying to see as a kid when walking around and walking, and then suddenly slips and falls in this big ditch and panics because it's water down there. He's just because he's scared, so he's
Yeah.
just trying to claw it, can't get a grip, and he's just scared.
It's
And
okay,
all of a sudden,
Joey. I got you.
yeah, he's oh thanks, Ernest. I thought I was a goner. And looks up, and it's Trantor looking right in his eyes and turns him into this wooden doll. Like just holy shit! And there's your first full glimpse of Trantor.
Yeah. So he's got two noses,
2 noses, snot coming down,
spiky eyebrows.
horns, and then like the ears are like multiple like I don't know what you call it. It's just like they got like little stems growing out of the ear, like multiple stems there, and beautiful costume work for Trent. Trantor was an original like design, and I won't go. Well, we'll wait and address what the rest of the trolls look like
Okay.
because the people who worked on the troll designs worked on another very famous movie and reused a lot of those molds.
Yep. Actually, have that in my notes. So yeah, when
Okay,
we
so we'll address that when we get there. But I love this because I used to get so upset with Kenny's parents. Ernest is crazy. Oh my God, I saw a troll and goes right to the sheriff's house, and it's just full on panic. And I remember just wanting to like, well, you people listen to him, just being so put out as a kid, like, damn it, he's telling you the truth.
But then the movie would be over, man. You
It
can't do
would
that,
be, but
man.
it's just like, oh no, no, no. And Kenny's mom, boy, the moms in this movie dress like men. You know, just they just we'll get into that later.
Well,
But
I mean, just the pantsuits and stuff. That
the
was like
pantsuits and
the
the
90s
button
style.
up shirts all tucked in, like God, that was the style for moms back in the day.
I mean, I honestly, that was like to me, like my mom didn't dress like this, but the
Mine
teachers
didn't either.
did. The teachers did.
Teachers did dress like that. My mom, I remember she had like long sleeve shirts and she wore a jacket and shoulder pads,
Yeah.
and things like
Shoulder
that.
pads, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I used to like to pat them because it was kind of fun. Like it's almost like can you feel that, mom?
I used to like put them on and have them on there and just pretend that they were like football pads.
No, I can see that. Yeah.
But Kenny's sitting here, he's pleading with his parents. It's like Ernest is telling the truth.
It's like there was something out there, and all they can focus on is look at that classic witch.
Yeah, I
decoration.
was about to point
Yeah.
that out. Yeah, I just
But-
love the Halloween decorations.
Just classic. They don't make them like that anymore. But they're all they can focus on is that they were at Lady Hackmore's wedding and she got really steamed, and that's all Kenny's parents could focus on. You went out there to her old lady Hackmore, that old lady's land, like, and just tell me get out of here. You're dreaming. And even after the close of Ernest is still standing there at the door and just going on and on and on.
I kind of wonder how long Ernest stood there before he gave up, because he never knows when to quit, and we'll get to that here in a little bit.
And then we cut the Trantor running through the woods back to his lair, and
Dude,
puts that wooden.
I love this. He gets to the wooden tree, and the whole idea is he has to get 5 kids before midnight in order to unleash the other trolls.
Yeah, and he puts it in there, and he's got a great voice. I'm not sure who does his voice. It's a very familiar voice, but he looks up and you start to see the sprouts of the troll pods emerge from the tree. Always reminded me of Gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
that's
much
what I
so.
thought about when I was, or at least Gremlins 2. I hadn't seen the first Gremlins at this point, but I thought of Gremlins 2. with the paws coming as they're all gooey and everything, and then he goes back into action, looking for more kids. And Ernest goes to that old lady Hackmore, and she's just ready to just give him
I
so
mean,
much shit.
look at her face right
I
there.
mean, that lower lip. I mean, she could put someone's eye out with that. And he's just like, yeah, I know what he looks like. It's just he just wants anyone. Will you please believe me? You haven't seen nothing till you see what it does with the children. And then and then her little her monologues, like she's cackling to herself. It was kind of very creepy, and much like Ernest right there. He's like, oh my god, like look at this place, and yeah. He is one big kid. Like he is like how he's looking at things is how I would be looking at that house if I was in there with him right now.
Yeah.
And she
So
pulls out the book that would pretty much go over the history of the troll legacy in Briarville.
I love how Ernest is doing that. I do that to
Yeah.
people. I do that to people when I'm talking to them. They're like, hey, I'm sick, or I've been sick the past couple of days. I just like do this.
Yeah. And it's a poem. The poem, and Trantor, and I guess that this is a fun little thing, is that it's a poem that Trantor has put together. I don't know who wrote it down, but pretty much letting people know this is how you defeat me if you
Yeah.
can decipher the poem.
Yep. And
Like
the
he's
poem,
taunting the humans, if you can decipher this, like knowing full well they have not been able to. All that they just trapped him.
yeah.
And how they may have stopped the other trolls back in the day, I have no idea. But they clearly didn't do it with the poem. No
Yeah.
one was able to decipher the poem.
So the poem is from the Innocence of Five, an evil. Does it
Army
say? Yeah,
shall
army.
arise.
Yeah, it looks like Amy.
It does look like Amy. Yeah.
An evil army shall arise when blossoms shower down like rain. My dark kingdom will come again. There is one who can stop me if he will dare, with the heart of a child and a mother's care. So we're going to spend the back half of this them trying to decipher heart of a child, mother's care. What does that mean? Which
and then she tells him, like, you're the ones who have to stop. It's your legacy. You are the great redneck hope. And he just kind of like, is that so? And just kind of has this, she's building his ego up there, and he's like thinking, I am the great redneck hope. And he just kind of has this little speech and walks over and lets the heavenly light shine down upon him to let him know that he is the hero of the day.
And of course, the portrait of Phineas behind him.
Yeah, in the background there.
Which he says is it great grandfather or just great?
So. Yeah.
I can't remember how many greats are in there exactly, but dude, look at the cars, man. It was like, yeah, you could definitely feel that late 80s, early 90s vibe.
Yeah. And this is how he goes into hero mode, by just screaming on an air horn, trolls are here. Rimshot's running right along like.
Yeah, people are tossing their papers in the air because he's getting in their way.
And just like, what the hell is Ernest yelling about? Something stupid about trolls. And he just, up and down everywhere in Briarville. Anyone who will listen to him, which no one is because it's Ernest.
And a nice little touch with it being the day before Halloween and around this time in October. Most of you here in the States are usually aware of, like, anytime there's an election, having signs in people's yards. So we have here a sign for Mayor Murdoch.
Yeah.
In the yard. And I'm like, that was a good touch, because one of the things, if you're not looking for it, you're not really going to pay attention to it. But all the stuff in the movie, they couldn't get proper, like, foliage of leaves to represent October. So you see here, everything's still green.
Yeah.
So
maybe fall just kind of runs a little later into, because sometimes there's
that's what I'm saying.
And things like
that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they wanted to do in the movie, but they just couldn't get the proper amount of stuff, so they just went with it.
Which they do a good. I mean, like, right here, like this character with the pumpkin bucket, like they with the fodder shock, like, they do put together a great touch with the decorations and things like that. Like, and honestly, like, it never pulled me out of the movie. There was enough Halloween stuff all around. Like, I'm in it.
But what's weird here is over to the left and behind you see Sale Halloween's a tool shop. In the middle, you have a funeral home just attached in between on the strip. It's kind of odd. Most of the time, most of the funeral homes I've ever seen have always just been standalone buildings.
Yes, they're off to their own. They're not part of a plaza.
Yeah, so seeing that, I was like, all right, a funeral home right beside of that, and it almost looks like this right here. It looks like an ice cream cone, almost, sort of. I don't know, and I just thought that was amusing to me. It's like, yeah, it's in between. A funeral home's just right beside the tool shop. So as Ernest is trying to alert everyone that there's trolls, someone gets whiff of it over time here as he interrupts them and he starts to talk, but Bobby, well,
And
usually Chuck and Bobby, but Gaylord Sarton, who usually plays Chuck in all the Ernest stuff, is replaced here by John Cadenhead, and this character's name is Tom. So this is the Tulip Brothers. So you got Bobby here in the center. So allegedly, I didn't do any more research on it, but apparently Gallard had a fallout with John Cherry. So he's not involved in any more Ernest projects after
and I don't think Bobby is
goes to jail.
This is the last movie he's in too.
I would have to go back, and I think he shows up in one more Ernest movie after this, and it's either, it might not be Rides Again. I think it was one of the direct the video entries.
Gotcha.
But I think that John here does a serviceable job. Of course, when I was talking about Gallard, let me put him up here. So this is the guy that would play Chuck. He was also in Hee Haw, which I remember Hee Haw a lot.
Yeah, I remember
as
watching
a kid.
At my mom's house on Saturday nights.
Yeah, so I think that he does a serviceable job as a replacement here.
He's not as good, but he works. He works fine for, coming in and replacing him. He's a decent replacement. But as I told Nathan before, that was the only disappointing thing. And I use disappointment loosely because it didn't take me out of the movie by any means. But I'm like, it's not Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, for you as a kid too to realize, like, oh, they changed it. That's different. Yeah. It speaks
Bobby's
volumes.
there doing what Bobby does. Like he barely talks.
Always love Bobby's facial expressions because these characters were used a lot in Hey Vern, It's Ernest.
Yeah.
As well.
And they were in Ernest Goes to Jail. It's his co-workers at the bank.
Yeah.
And that left such an impression on me, Chuck and Bobby. And they were his neighbors in Ernest Goes to Jail too. So they're in Ernest Goes to Jail a lot.
Yeah, but I love Bobby's facial expressions. I also like this little promo here that Tom is cutting. It's like,
like a used car salesman almost, just with his kind of fun jokes, trying to get you to come down to their big sale they got going on at their store.
I mean, just
let them fat puppies hate fast cars.
And Bobby's just sitting there waiting to do that.
Yeah,
I just love his face. Sadly,
it's a very, very distinct face that you just can never forget.
Sadly enough, Sarton and Bobby, I can't remember the actor's name. They both actually passed away this year. Bobby passed away. Bobby passed away in January, and I think Sarton passed away, I want to say in June. And then, if I'm not I would have to look it up, but I almost want to say that John Cadenhead may have passed away this year too. Let me look that up really quick to see, to confirm. He might actually still be alive. I could be wrong, but he is. Wait, no, he died in 2002. My bad. Well, but it was just interesting to see that Chuck and Bobby passed away same year, not too far apart from one another.
Yeah,
after working together for so long, because their whole thing too is they kind of came up around the time Ernest did, like same agency, same stuff, doing the same TV spots, and then came together, did Hey Vern, It's Ernest. The combination of stuff, they show up in his movies and everything. So it's just really interesting relationship all of those guys had together. So
Ernest breaks into like, I need those trolls, and it just laughs and like, wait, did you say trolls? And it just so happens, like look at that face.
Just so happens we got the stuff, Ernest, to help you take care of this problem.
Which I love this because I look at Ernest. And they just say like, okay, we got an idiot here who's going to buy a bunch of our shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it cuts to Kenny coming to Elizabeth, and where's Joey at? It's like Joey never came home last night. And they talk about that, Ernest has been running around screaming about trolls. Like, you don't think, like, there's no such thing as trolls. He's probably with the tree right now.
Is
Which
that
Kenny
so?
changes his tone because he was worked up with Ernest at the house, but probably because he's in front of Elizabeth, he wants to have balls big enough to come in a dump truck. So he's gonna like, pretend like, whatever.
I don't think he's quite at that age yet, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. He's not full Terry Funk, but he's on the path.
Troll away spray.
Yeah, I was like, this is so cool. Like all these weapons to fight trolls. Like I was all about this sequence here.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder too, like, at what point is he like, you know what, we should have some of this stowed away somewhere just in case someone's crazy enough to break. So I kind of wonder how everyone. I guess that's kind of the biggest thing. How would everyone have caught wind of this tall tale? Would it have just been passed down like family to family? So you think when Elizabeth goes to tell the story to the rest of the class, I would assume that all the other kids are aware because this seems like such a town thing that most people are aware of.
I would disagree because I feel like it's something that has been completely forgotten the time outside of Eartha Kitt's character. That she's the only one who's kept up with it and knows it's going to happen. Whereas I think as the town got bigger, they've all kind of dismissed like this idea, or that the families that did lose children to Trantor the Troll have passed on, and they've all had kids, and it's just gotten to where it's not even a distant memory. It's completely forgotten the time outside of if you happen to go to the local library and look up in the history books about a supposed tall tale about a troll that terrorized this town way back there in the Little House on the Prairie days. And
Well,
that's
how
why
would you how would you think that Tom would have caught wind of this
I
thing?
think they may have seen like, you know what, this would be a uh, they don't look at it like they take it serious. Like maybe someone will decide, you know, maybe just strictly for Halloween, or someone could look up that silly local legend and decide something's going to happen, and they could just take a bunch of random bullshit, slap labels on, and claim this is troll repellent, this is troll away, like that slingshot. They could have went down to local Kmart and bought a slingshot and just say this is a troll slingshot, and and increase the price like complete shysters.
Yeah, and I love
You
how
know,
Bobby's just sitting there calculating the
yeah,
price.
and tallying it all up here, and when they pull out troll nunchucks, like, oh my god, like that is amazing, like and troll bait,
Yeah,
50 pounds. He's sitting there make bullshitting the amount of it. Yeah, that's 50 pounds.
yeah, we have no troll pest strip right there
Yeah,
that he's
just
got as well.
and this troll. I forgot what that was. The big. It makes me think of the Spaceball segments about the merchandising, like just all this random cool stuff. That's troll weapons, and they tally it up, and it's over 1,000. Which as a kid, like, oh my god, that might as well be $1 million.
Yeah.
And Ernest like, does that come with the album of like troll love songs like "Do Rattlesnakes Kiss Carefully"? But
I mean, just a good little like
yeah,
I liked it. None of that was. I don't know. I saw that and I'm like that's so random, but it's so funny to me how because of its randomness.
yeah, and that's what Ernest is good about. It's a lot of random stuff that doesn't kill the tone. It's like, where did that come from? But in this world, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a quick thing. It's like, and then boom,
And then you move on. You don't
we're
focus
moving
on
on.
it.
Yeah, we're not focusing
Yeah,
on it. But hey, man, once again, we know this is it's just a set is beautiful. Adding the fog machine in there to
yeah,
really ups the ante on it. So
and
they decide to go back to the tree and they see there he
the
is.
the opening, and they see the doll that looks just like Joey, and that puts the kids on edge. Like from there on out, like, okay, this is not right. And Trantor is looming around, sees the kids, and they haul ass. And we cut back to old lady Hackmore, and Ernest is in full troll Terminator mode here, giving his own speech about how awesome, what an ass kicker he is. And I hope you have it saved where she just looks at him, and it cuts to the right. He looks at her, and then she looks at him, and he kind of makes this very embarrassed face, like, "Oh, I guess I'm not that much of an ass kicker." It's not that. He goes a little deeper with the embarrassment.
Damn it.
And then, yeah, the kids run to the old lady Hackmore, or they're trying to get there. And this is something as we're approaching here. Like they're going there, they're off put, and then Trevor follows them there, and he sees another child on a skateboard in broad daylight,
Yeah.
and as he's watching the kids, he hears this other child and just snatches this kid off his skateboard and turns him into like that. Like this kid's minding his own business and just is it might as well have been killed at this
Hey,
point.
man, you got to get to 5.
Got to get to 5, but I love that it adds to the threat of him. Like it doesn't have to be these two; it could be any kid, and just grabs the first one that he's like, oh, this is easier. I'll just grab this random kid. You know, imagine what that kid was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
That would have sucked. That would have been awful.
And they come in and say, you know, this little statue that looks like Joey, and you know, and Ernest is, you know, like, all right, I'm with you, kids, and then you know, Eartha Kitt comes in here and she's giving her big, you know, more dialogue about what needs to be done, which this creeped me out because she's going full on like evil witch mode. Like it's like at this point, it's like she knows she's gonna scare the shit out of kids here in a second. You know, because she goes over to Ernest, you know, and tells him like, "But the child's hot and the mother's care," and leans into the kids. A child's hot, and then it cackles. Like, I was like, "Holy shit, man!" Like that scared me. Is that right there? Like, oh my god! Like, and it makes you wonder if the kids didn't know that was coming, because I could see her doing that. Like, can I do a little improvisation here? Like,
I mean, I've noticed that a lot of times when you have characters like this, or you have like your main scary character in a movie and there are kids involved, that oftentimes there's that thing of that actor stays away from the kids just so when the kids see the actor they react appropriately, kind of thing. So I could see this being the case if she was like, well, I'm gonna do this and see how they react to it, kind of deal. This was so fucking funny. So Ernest's big plan is he's like, you know, trolls, they're doing this and walking around. They're going to get tired, right? They're going to have to
sure
to
could use a rest. Think I'll check into this troll motel here. You know, he's just like, oh yeah.
So it's like trolls enter here, vacancy. He's got like a doll that's like
supposed to be a child. Like, come get this little child here that's hanging by its neck.
Yeah, and the kids just like, I don't know, Halloween specials written on there.
Yeah, just fun. I thought it was cool as a kid because it seemed so elaborate, you know, with the colors. Like, yeah, there he is. Sure could use a rest. And, you know,
Rimshot's just like
looking down in there.
At this point, it's like obviously Rimshot is smarter than Ernest.
Yeah, he's just kind of rolling along with it because he loves them.
Kids for free.
Yeah, like just one little touches like that unless you're paying attention, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, and then kind of falls for the own trap. It smashes down on Ernest's hand.
Yeah, it takes a moment for him to recognize, like, I'm in intense pain. This big piece of steel just crushed my knuckles.
I like too how earlier in this was given the speech. He got the lollipop. He takes it out and just sets it on top of the dumpster,
and then takes it back off there and starts, you know, and then it hurts like a motherfucker. And now it's nighttime, and Ernest is on full patrol. And Kenny's going to go on duty with him, but they got to let the little lady go home where it's safe.
Yeah.
And she tells her, like, don't go to the Halloween party. You stay home tonight. And she gives him a kiss because he's looking out for it. And it cuts back to Ernest like, oh man, it's so sweet.
So this kiss, after Ernest Scared Stupid released, Austin Nagler, who plays Kenny, was teased so much for this scene right here where he gets the kiss on the cheek, he stopped acting altogether.
How does that happen? Like,
I don't know.
A kid who got kissed before his classmates ever did, like, is
well, the thing I always wondered too is these child actors. And I've listened to stuff like the Pod Meets World when Topanga, Danielle Fishel, and all the when they're doing the show, and they're going back to public school like during the off season when they're not shooting, they said that they would get made fun of by the kids in school. I'm like, how does that make sense? You are on TV, so I mean, obviously it's just pure jealousy at that point.
Right, it is.
But just the fact that he got picked on for this, and so much so that he just quit acting, that's insane.
That shows you, like, it doesn't matter what you do, what you look like. It You could be living the most normal life, look as normal as possible, and people who are complete assholes will find some way of like, I don't like you because you have this and I don't. So I'm gonna just give you so much shit because I envy you so much. And he kind of made you feel like, how come, why is no one doing anything about this?
Yeah.
Why that's what always has bothered me about the school systems growing up and even today. It's like teachers just choose to ignore the signs of bullies and assholes. Like, I know a lot of it's done online and stupid shit like that. But I know a lot of this stuff is still going on in schools. And I'm thinking, like, how is it teachers are always so oblivious to what's really going on? And they'd rather just throw both kids into detention. The one's getting picked on gets in trouble because he's just standing there and trying to fight back. Like, I don't have time for this. I got to go teach a bunch of bullshit. Both of you guys, lunch attention for both of you.
Yeah. But
You
it
know,
sucks that he quit acting because he was
It's
getting
awful.
picked on about that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
there's Ernest giving him the
He's
look.
like, oh man, it's so cute and sweet. Oh, I love it. And Trantor adds his second victim. Shit's getting real here, people.
Only 3 more to go. We see more
Yep.
of the pods growing.
Yep, they're blossoming and oozing. That rimshot land just his head. And he drops Kenny off. I'm just telling be alert. And Kenny's walking home like, oh boy, I think something's out there.
So this is the point where Tyler's kind of the parallels between this and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, what we're coming up. Not this abrupt moment.
Not this one. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting there.
It kind of looked like it from the way that he's looking back. I was like, is that the part? But no, he's got that other kid with him.
Yeah. But Trantor is snooping around here, and we cut to Kenny's home and still thinks, he's just, how can you not be? All of a sudden he's ambushed by the pack of assholes hiding in the boat, wearing shitty masks.
The old Murdoch boys.
Yep.
And then of course
Mom
you get that
shows up and completely ignores the fact, that
she would have seen this. She would have seen the kids running away because clearly her headlights are shining on them. But whatever.
Yeah, and typical. I mean, look how she's dressed. No wonder she's uptight and a bitch. And look at that hairdo. My God, it's like a 1950s hairdo. She's like 2 inches short of a beehive hairdo.
So, my mom, I think it was around this time period. I was like 1990, 91.
Yeah.
She cut her hair short like this, and she fucking hated it. She hated it because she always had like longer hair, like shoulder length hair, or longer than that. And she cut it really short like this, and she absolutely hated it.
See, my mom cut her hair short, but it was kind of a bouffant up top.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of like the length of Gozer's hair in Ghostbusters. Not spiked, but that kind of level and just kind of slightly curled up top. And she wore it for most of the early 90s.
Man.
And I would just always like my mom and her bouffant hairdo.
Does she look back on that fondly, or does she kind of hate that hairstyle?
I can't remember. I would love to ask her. I saw her today. I wish I had brought that up to her.
Next time you see her, ask her about it, because my mom hated it when she.
Now, there were certain hairdos my mom looks back like she had long hair in the 80s. It looked good on her. And of course, at the time that was like a standard mom look. She had it for so long. She may look back at it and I'm like, oh my God, like what was I thinking? But I just remember like that hairdo and mom saying, I got to get a perm. That was a common term.
Yeah, perms were the thing.
Perms were a big deal back in the early 90s.
And that always sucked if you had to go with your mom when she got a perm, because perms like take hours to do. So you're just stuck there.
And I'm sorry, but back then, unless you happened to bring a magazine or a couple of action figures with you, you had jack shit to entertain yourself.
Absolutely. You would have to hope that maybe the salon had a magazine that you had any remote interest in.
It was just like fucking highlight magazines or some bullshit like that, or Boys Life, which sometimes was kind of cool, but like nothing compared to like a movie magazine or a comic book. And a hair salon wasn't going to have either of those as an option.
Highlights, man. That was at every dentist, doctor.
Yeah.
It was all
someone
over the
got
place.
me a subscription to that, and I remember highlights mag. I was always kind of look for like.
Man, did they hate you?
I don't know. I guess they just thought it was education. I was like, it's a free magazine. I'll just kind of look at the find, like the search and find pictures, like in the back. We had like find these 10 items in this picture here. Like,
it's a shame. It's a shame that Master Universe magazine wasn't existent at
Well,
that by that
it
point in
did.
time.
Just no one thought about picking up Backation and sending them to me, or Ninja Turtle magazine. Give me a subscription to that.
Yeah.
No, I get the highlights.
Or
I might
like,
eventually get a subscription to Captain America comic books a
oh,
couple
okay,
years later.
that's
You
cool.
know,
I was
yeah.
gonna say maybe like Nintendo Power would have been a good one to have.
Any of it would have been awesome.
No, just
Nintendo Power.
highlights.
Yeah, just highlights. That's all I got. Son of a bitch.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been like Nat Geo for kids.
God.
Anyway,
No.
point is, Mom hated that hairstyle, and I think she kept it long enough until she was able to grow back out again. That I
But I
recall.
imagine too, the way she's dressed, the way her hair is, like Kenny's dad ain't giving it to her. Yeah, just look at that. Can you find any more sex appeal than that right there?
She, oddly
Who wants
enough,
to pound that ass? I mean, you just go full on limp dick looking at that coming at you in the bedroom.
I think, for whatever reason, I was watching this yesterday. I think how she looks here and how she looks towards the end of the movie, it almost seems like it's two different actresses, but maybe not. But
No, it's the same one. Like her
Yeah.
hair gets wet because she gets mauled by the trolls.
Yeah, I guess that's
You
why
know,
it looks so
and they
different.
wet her hair down so she gets rid of that quarter beehive.
But Kenny's like, I'm out of here. You see, this little kid's rocking a Spider-Man costume.
Yeah. And the bags that you put little candles in, that was an old school decoration.
Oh,
they used
yeah.
to put in the lawns.
Yeah, that's kind of a big fire hazard when you think about it.
It is, but you know what? That was a kind of regular.
Those were the good old days.
They were, man, when fire hazards were everywhere. And look at this mother here.
Yeah,
Boy,
dude.
boy, she's ready for
Speaking of
another romping.
bitchy mothers, here's another one.
Yeah, she's definitely getting ready for horizontal rumba later with her husband, with a dress like that.
Cabbage Patch.
Cabbage Patch dolls, like Elizabeth likes her dolls.
Yeah, and this is, you see this room, but hopefully we get a good shot of it. If you look here, I think this is like some spoof poster, but I'm pretty sure it's like New Kids on the Block related or something.
But with dogs or something?
I guess. We'll see if we can get a better.
Like New Pups on the Block or something like
well,
that.
of course, too, she's got the
Barnum and Bailey, or Ringling Brothers.
Yeah, Ringling Brothers Circus
And
poster.
Barnum and Bailey too. I guess I always thought they were like separate groups, but
this looks like if my mom had a girl instead of a boy, I think this is what the room
I
would
could totally
look
see
like.
your mom decorating a little girl's room.
Yeah,
just like this.
Just like it. I mean, shit, man. I go to their house right now, and I get like the sunroom vibes a little bit from this room here.
I mean, she had the mini pearl hat on the wall and everything.
No, I don't think she go that far, but I think I'm just looking at like the pink walls and like the flowery aesthetic.
And the wire bed, like the metal wire bed.
Yeah.
The railing there. Like, that'd be something your mom would do for sure.
Yeah. Oh God,
And
look at
she looks a lot like what's her name from she was in the Firm Basic Instinct. Oh God, she plays like Tom Cruise's wife in The Firm, and she plays Jean Triplehorn. She looks like Jean Triplehorn's doppelganger.
Okay.
But Jean Triplehorn's hot. This girl's fugly. And Elizabeth is scared shitless because she's like, I don't want to
check under the bed.
And her mom's like, look, you're gonna get dressed. You're gonna go to the the Halloween party. You're gonna have a good time. Stop acting like a damn child. I'm not gonna look under your bed.
But dude, she's got her own bathroom.
She's living it up.
Right now. I mean, really, I saw that. I'm like, they must be pretty loaded if the kids got their own bathroom.
Yeah. So, and she's left by herself, and she's just trying to work up the there's nothing under the bed. There's nothing under and this was one of those moments too. That as a kid, you're like, okay, you always feel like you can relate. There's either, if it's not under the bed, it's somewhere in your room.
Mine was never under the bed. I think mine was more, there's a monster in the closet kind of thing.
Mine was just like, I'm alone. It could be anywhere.
It's dark in here. Yeah.
It's dark in here. Night lights can't save me. My parents are too far away. I'm like, I'm fucked.
I'm doomed.
I'm doomed. And she reaches underneath there.
She's got her own phone. I just noticed that.
I just noticed that too, man. I didn't.
What the fuck? She got her own bathroom, her own phone. How old? She's probably what, like 4th grade, right?
Yeah.
So 9, 10 years old. Man, she's living it up.
Yeah. I remember using the phone when I was in 4th grade to call buddies.
Yeah, but when did
and
you
the
get your
occasional girl.
when did you get
So,
your own phone, like in your
I didn't have
room?
my own phone probably until a couple years later because I remember getting in my dad got me and my brother each our own NBA basketball phones, and you could put any team logo on the basketball you want, like all every team.
I remember
So
those.
I put the Magic on there, but it was a very clunky phone because you had to pull the phone out of the basketball,
Yep.
and then but I think that was the first one I got, and then I had a standard generic phone either right before or right after that as well.
Yeah. I
But I
think I
had no use
was.
for I have my own phone in my room for a while. I would
Yeah.
just use the kitchen phone to call buddies or call a girl.
That was, you had to have a phone in your room once you really started talking to girls. I remember I was like 12. I had started dating that girl Erica in middle school.
Yeah.
So I had to have the phone in the room, So summer 96 rolls around and you're talking on the phone. Like, you call her because you're like, how do we do this? I'm like, well, you can't call here. But then I started thinking, I'm like, you can call at this time. I'll go out into the kitchen and go out into the foyer and turn the ringers off of those phones. So the only phone that'll ring in the house will be mine. But then my dad got up to use the bathroom and heard me talking and went and picked up one of the phones. And then he picked up the foyer phone and I went to the bathroom. I didn't see him because it was dark and the way the wall space was. I went to the bathroom and came back. And I've told this before, but I got on the phone and I was like, hey, I'm back. And she was like, you're back? Then who was I talking to? And my dad was like, you need to go to bed. And I was like, shit.
You never told me that story.
I thought I've told this on the show before.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah. So we were like whispering to each other on the phone, just whatever, just talking or just like sweet nothings or whatever. It's like, can't wait to make out with you again.
We're gonna play Seal's "Kiss from a Rose." It'd be great.
No, that was like a year prior. That song got ruined by Ashley King. But yeah, I get up to go to the bathroom. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I get up and go to the bathroom. Dad goes and he grabs it was a functional phone, but it was like a antique looking kind of phone that my mom got. So he picks it up and he was talking to her while I was in the bathroom. I don't know why I didn't hear anything. I go, and then that's how that all transpires. Like,
does he remember that story?
I don't know. He probably doesn't anymore. I wouldn't think. I don't know.
I'd love to hear it because I know he would just laugh his ass off. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, he thought it was funny. The next day, it was just like, "What were you guys talking about?" I'm like, "Shut up, Dad."
See, I could see my dad being, of course, he was oblivious to stuff like that. He, because he worked out of town a lot. So but I guess if my dad was home,
you probably would have gotten grounded, right?
Nah, he just would have, I think about like when me and Dick were like using the internet, staying up late, fucking around. He would bang open the door and yell at us, "Get to bed!" Like that was the equivalent of what you went through. But at least your dad would laugh and be able to make fun of about it. Whereas my dad was just like, "What are you doing on there? Get to bed!"
He never cared like how late I stayed up during the summertime or anything.
I think when I started staying up late in the summertime, like my parents were together. And my mom was cool with it as long as we weren't disturbing because she had to go to work the next day. So I just sat in my room, standing up, waiting for Beavis and Butthead to come on. I just sit there quietly, watch Three Stooges, singled out, and wait for Beavis and Butthead to come on, and then I go to bed.
All right,
and that was it. Like as long as you're quiet, you're not disturbing her. She was cool with it.
Yeah, that's the way my parents were. But Elizabeth, she's gonna work up the bravery to look under the bed.
She sees one of her faithful teddy bear just happened to fall underneath the bed. A great sigh of relief as she pulls it up there. It's just you, and turns over, and lying in her bed is Booger Lips. What the fuck, man? Just like they go falling out. Like it's not gonna be under your bed; it's gonna be in your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's
a good. It's one of those good moments. It's like the kid's first horror movie. You're sitting there watching, you get that sigh of relief. Oh, everything's okay, and roll around, and there he is.
Yeah, it's not in the claw. It's worse. And I love that they pushed the envelope with that. As Ernest is out in the field setting a massive bear trap, and Rimshot is the bait.
Yeah,
in a Boy Scouts outfit.
It's like Rimshot. I gotta tell you, what does he say? He's like
He's like, you're a cute dog, but you're a one ugly kid. And Rimshot just carrying that big ass stick and just
big
staring
stick
at
and
him
just
like,
give him like the side eye thing.
like,
I
am I
always,
really, huh?
yeah, it's always fun when you can see like the white in the dog's eyes.
I
Like
know it's
that.
adorable, and
Yeah.
I had the same like Weeblo's outfit that Rimshot's wearing there, so I knew exactly what he was wearing. So I just love that they got that, and they set the little tent and everything, like he's a Boy Scout, on his own, camping out in the backyard somewhere. And Rimshot's like, you talk too much shit about me, Dad. So you're on your own. And the bear trap snaps and sends Ernest flying off somewhere, and his hat falls down in front to let you know we don't know how far off he went.
Yeah, Kenny on his bike as he left his house. Now he's in town. More of those
Looking for his dad.
Awesome decorations that we've been talking about
all
the
over
entire
town.
film. Yeah.
And he's looking for they're looking for anyone, and Ernest decides like yawning of Rimshot. But they realize that they need some power up. They need some food and drink. And Ernest, before he does, I got to go into I got to fuck around a little bit here. And he's like, hey, this is Troll Fighter, come in here. Yeah. And,
I love this part. He's got poor Bobby. So Bobby is attached by a rope down below, but they're hanging a new
billboard,
which honestly, it kind of looks like it's going to be very similar to the one that's already up there.
Yeah, and the rope is very short. It's like we're talking maybe 6 feet apart.
Yeah, you can see that it's pretty tight right here in this shot.
Yeah, it's stretched out, and Bobby is just panicking, like, I need you to come closer without saying anything.
And Bobby struggling with the papering it up.
And Trantor spot and sees Ernest, and like he's got it in for Ernest. Like he knows, like, he's not a kid, but you're part of the lineage that put me in the ground, so I'm gonna get even with you. And it's like, all right, Bobby, come on, let's get out of here. And just falls down on the ground.
Yeah.
And he's got little Elizabeth in hand there.
Yeah, which I didn't notice that when I was watching. Really, I was paying more attention to just the amazing.
Oh, his the outfit, with
practical
the hair,
effects costume.
It's just, they did such a wonderful job of like not going too over the top, but scary enough that I think most kids, when this movie came out, would have been like, a little on edge. And of course, Ernest is picking out the class. He's got Hostess cakes and chocolate milk. At this little girl, and I love seeing like the old Coke labels, like the Coke display in the back there, 2 liters.
Which we'll get a better view of when the kids go through the store again later on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Get the Bud Light. I kind of wonder if that had the Spuds McKenzie, I guess was the name of that dog. You remember the dog that was part of the?
Yes. Yeah. It kind of looks like Rude Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder because I see the Bud Light and you see the orange and the black there. If that's like the Halloween. Oh wait, nope. There we go. Answers my question. So it's not, but clearly like Halloween inspired.
Yeah, and got its own cooler there. And this looks like a convenience store / grocery store. Like it's like a small. It kind of makes me think of Grant's. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But it's a small, teeny tiny mom and pop grocery chain out in Harrisburg and Giles County, and they are the smallest grocery stores you've ever seen in your life. They're the size of convenience stores, but they're grocery stores.
That's
what this looks like.
It kind of looks like Wade's to me.
well, it's Wade's was bigger than that.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we got some Alpo back there. The like old Diet Coke.
Yeah, and I like that grill, that barbecue grill set there with like the fake flames, but the
display stuff.
Yeah. It'll kind of make it look like you got fire going in there, and the guy at the register sees the Trantor in the background and just can't talk. He's just going crazy, and Ernest thinks he's playing charades.
I think one of the coolest things too is they made a point that the Tulip Brothers are just kind of like everywhere with the placement.
Yeah, it's almost like they have like a sponsorship with
anything in town.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my God, you really take it seriously when you play charades, because he pulls a double barrel shotgun out.
Yeah.
Ernest throws the chocolate milk back there, and Trantor gets the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, so we see Trantor's feet right here. And as the milk spills, you see the feet sort of shuffle back a little bit.
And he just faints. And here comes our second Freddy Krueger moment coming up. Is Kenny comes up on one of his classmates and is like, "Hey, where's your costume? Like everyone's going to the school." And they hear Elizabeth's voice coming from this barrel down here. It's like, oh my god, like, and it's also a lot like Pennywise the clown.
Yeah, very much so.
Pennywise and Freddy Krueger shit going on here. And lowers Kenny to the barrel, thinking Elizabeth, and see she's not in there, and then turns around, and Trantor's talking with Elizabeth's voice, and turns this poor defenseless kid into another statue.
Yeah,
into
number
a wooden
4.
doll. Yep. And then talks to his like time to join your little friends, and then just chases after him and continues to talk with Elizabeth's voice as I'm getting closer, Kenny. I'm catching up. It's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You know, it gives me chills because I'm like, it's so cool that they're pushing the envelope.
No, yeah, no, I completely agree. When you're watching this as a kid, is this something like obviously? Did you have nightmares about him?
I didn't, but it was terrifying because I didn't know Freddy Krueger and Pennywise did shit like that. But as I got older, I go back and rewatch, like, oh my god, this is what they did. But I found it just as terrifying, not knowing what I had nothing else to compare it to. I just knew that the monster is talking like a girl, like to taunt and lure him in, and then trying to just burst through this fence. Like Kenny had to jump, you know, because the chase is on, and now all the parents like are talking about their kids missing.
Well, except for this B guy.
We don't know where the John Belushi dress up like the B character is coming into this, but then the grocery store owner's there. You know,
well, well, I'm trying to remember what he complains about, because he complains about something that's unrelated to the kids.
Yeah, I forgot too. I thought it had something to do with Ernest. I thought maybe not.
I thought it had to do with parking. I can't remember.
It may have, but
the point is he says something totally. Everyone else is like, my kids, where are my kids?
Yeah, and Kenny's dad's just overwhelmed and just thinking they're probably at the school. They're probably at the school. You know, and here comes, you know, she's just pissed off. Being a bitch. She ain't getting any, and just trying to dismiss. Kenny's probably at the school. Like, and you're not getting any tonight. And we come back to Kenny is still being in hot pursuit, and there's Trantor right there, and luckily a milk truck passes between the two of them, and Trantor disappears.
So you start to put the pieces together that maybe there's something to do with the milk and the trolls here.
And Ernest is they're on patrol, and then the troll hotel alarm goes off. We got him! We got him!
So they rush over,
and Ernest is ready to sit there and claim his victory over Trantor. And Kenny reports to his dad. It's like, oh my god, you wouldn't believe it. There's a troll. There's a troll. And then Ernest comes right in after the mayor comes in. My kids are missing. You know, and just alerts them like, look, I got him right outside.
So they go, they open it up, guns drawn too, by the way. It's like, all right, I kind of believe you.
It's the mayor's kids found their way into the Troll Motel, thinking they were going to fuck up one of the kids. Good ideas, and
this one
Ernest fired.
He finally gets the boot.
Yep. And just is desperate, and at this point doesn't care that he lost his job. He's like I know it's out there. Someone believe me. He's like, Kenny, tell him, Kenny. And Kenny's pretty much being shut down. Like his dad's like, get in the car, and Kenny's just kind of sure like, I can't. What do you want me to do? My dad won't believe me.
Yeah. So then Ernest sits here and he's like, I got nothing to live for. Essentially,
and Rimshot just comes to him and comforts him like, I know it's just not the same though, and. You know, and then Rimshot starts pulling on his leg, like, don't give up, don't give up.
He's like, you're right, boy.
I needed that.
I needed that. I never knew when to quit.
That's my fourth grade teacher.
And then it cuts to his fourth grade teacher that says, I never know when to quit, that he's written on the chalkboard. And after he does it,
he scratches the board.
Yeah, he goes to scratch
the fuck out of him.
I got a big laugh out of me when I was watching it yesterday.
Yeah, and that was in the TV spots. I remember seeing that. Like, I couldn't wait to see that. Like, oh, we're going to see Ernest as a kid. This is gonna be awesome.
I think that's something that I wouldn't have put in a TV spot. I would have saved it for people to really enjoy when it comes up in the movie, because it's a really funny moment.
It comes and goes, like, and then just like that's it, you know.
Yeah.
And
we go back to Hackmore's place, and then you start to notice, oh, what does she have on her nightstand here? This looks really familiar.
more wooden figures of children.
And then this is
And
when she puts them in the bag. And it's like, all right, it's your time now.
yeah, and it's as a kid, I'm like, what does that mean?
Mhm.
It didn't register at all. But Trantor has got he's got four. He's got to
Mhm.
get one more, but not before he's confronted by Ernest at the tree. And Ernest goes there like, those look like Brussels sprouts. I hate Brussels sprouts. And then Rimshot barks, she's like, hey, me too. Yeah. And then makes a comparison to a made up B movie that Ernest clearly is a big fan of.
Yeah.
And
Which you sit there
then
and
I
you're,
love this. He gets to the truck and then Trencher just runs and just knocks the fuck out of him with the side of the truck. And this big fight sequence here. I love this. Like Trantor just surprises them and rubbing snot all over the windshield
and not only that, but like driving a big sword, knife, dagger-esque kind of weapon through the top of the truck.
Yeah. Trying to stab Ernest in the head or Rimshot and whoever he can get his hands on. And yeah, he's trying to get a hold of Tom and Bobby, and they're just like, come on back. And yeah, time to join your forefathers.
And then Ernest has a joke that was like, well, I don't know about that. I only had one father and I didn't know him very well. And I was like, that's so good.
Just no matter what happens, he takes time just to fuck around. I just love that about that. And then he thinks he's got Trantor trapped, and then he just tears the door off. And
Rimshot
decides take
the wheel.
He's got it. We don't know who's pushing the gas, but he's driving the truck.
Yeah.
And they take to the back and having a sword fight, so to speak, with garden shears and Trantor's knife. And then he pulls out what looks to be, I forgot what kind of tool it is, but he starts going all full on nunchucks. So we're gonna have a big ninja fight here. And Trantor ends up getting knocked off the back and starts pulling the truck back, and like, oh man.
And then Ernest says, put it in reverse.
And this spot was in the trailer, and I remember quoting this movie after this scene after I saw it. My mom told me, like, don't say that. That's not nice. I'm thinking, like, I'm quoting Ernest, Mom. It's like, how about a bumper sandwich, bugger lips? I just thought it was such a great line, and they
runs him over.
Like they run him over, and then he's like, "Where did he go?" And like Rimshot's driving so slowly, just right.
yeah, it's a good shot right here.
It is. It just looks so cool. I mean, it's played straight. It's not played. I mean, unless you want to break it down, it's not meant to be funny. But he's there, and breaks open the front windshield. And Ernest falls back in this big barrel.
Bobby has that banner from earlier, that wallpaper that he was putting up.
Oh yeah, it's still attached
for that billboard, and it's covered over his head, so he can't see while he's driving. And I thought that was a really good touch.
It is, and of course back to old lady Hackmore's place, and he's been pretty much smashed shut inside this barrel, and just keeps getting knocked down the steps and trying to explain, like, this is what he looked like, and trying to decipher this poem.
And in doing so, they discover a new page
that was stuck together, and there's a letter missing. A troll can destroy itself with Miak. At least that's what Ernest thinks it is.
Yeah. Got a nice little page here on the left too. Just
oh yeah, it would be nice to see more of the illustrations in that.
Yeah,
that probably didn't make the cut. Elaborating more of the legend of Trantor and all the trolls.
Yeah, so he decides that it's Miak, and now we're here at the Briarville Elementary School, which the front of this school, just this shot in particular, we get another shot later on that shows more of the school, and it didn't seem as recognizable, as recognizable to me, but this looks a lot like the elementary school that I went to from kindergarten to third grade. Just this front entrance.
Yeah.
Very, very, very similar in that regard. I was like, oh, that's like Claremont.
It has parts that are similar to Riverlawn, but we didn't have an entrance like that. Ours was like ground level and with
But
double doors.
but the interior shot of the school here, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely elementary schools that you and I went to. Just,
Oh, almost definitely. Yeah.
yeah, just kind of like run down a little bit
Yeah.
to a degree. Like, of course, we would get some newer schools built that we would both attend, but the elementary schools that we all went to seemed to be a little run down, just like this.
Which I love that because they were always old. They were old schools that we went to that, kept going for about, almost another decade, almost before they decided, like, okay, we're going to use this for something else.
Yeah. Tom here, sitting there, trying to sell stuff because forever the businessman trying to get rid of anything and everything that he can that would have his name and branding of the brothers on it.
Kiwi fruit, just any kind of random slop to hand out to the kids and make a quick buck. And Beehive's looking for Kenny. No one's seen him, and well,
Yeah.
they got to start the contest.
Yeah, the costume contest. Which look here, maybe Ninja Turtle with this guy, sort of, kind of, but not really.
Because I remember dressing as a Ninja Turtle at least one time, and I had darker shades like of the yellow and the green than what he's wearing there.
So Ernest and Lady Hackmore show up, and then
these two unhinged mother and daughter are
dude,
like having this massive fight that just goes
yeah,
completely out of the ballpark in lightning time here.
yeah. I hate this costume. Well,
You picked it out.
Yeah, well, I hate you. Well, I'm not too fond of you either. And I'm like, shit.
And then I remember as a kid watching this fight take place, it seemed like it was much longer. Like, I don't know why, but and then within seconds, you're like, Mommy, I'm sorry. And they say, I love you. And like, oh, come here, you little shit. And
Yeah.
that's when it clicks with old Lady Hackmore because she's like trying to like mother's, the heart of a child. Love, unconditional love. And then, of course, Ernest, I love the angle here.
Uh-huh.
The dangerous angle, like he's coming to warn about what, trolls are here, they're here.
He runs
And
into
just-
the door, smacks
Yep.
right into it, and then when he's recovering and trying to walk back, someone opens the door and smacks it into him. This is good little...
Before he finally makes it in, and everyone just was like, oh boy, it's Ernest again yelling about trolls.
But he's just like, because he probably got a concussion
he's
from the door.
Little
loopy
out from multiple door shots.
Ooh, jumbo pretzels.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me, which I'm sure you had too. We had the Fun Fest at Riverlawn. It was the big Halloween party we had on one Saturday at Riverlawn, which was just a big Halloween festival with games and the cakewalk and prizes you could win and a haunted house.
If they had anything like that, I didn't go because I was probably I was probably too afraid. I don't know.
See, the only thing that I'd have been afraid was the haunted house, and I didn't start doing that till I think I was in like third grade. Like from kindergarten, then it was strictly staying inside the gym and winning prizes.
Yeah,
and that was it. And that's as far as I went. I didn't have the balls to go to the haunted house held by the fifth graders.
Yeah. Here's the costume contest. We get a good little panning shot of all the kids. Of course, we get the shitty.
Yeah, we get
Murdoch.
Max Murdoch mullet.
Yep.
And he's like, nice costume. I think I see a dork when I see one, and just nudges Trantor, who's like, I think I found my fifth victim here. This kid has it coming, people. Like, you don't really feel sorry for him. But then when you see his brother yell out like, "Oh no!"
I was okay with it. It's like
I was too, but I think if
his brother's a piece of shit too, so
he is, and not until a little later here, there's a little sympathy for the younger brother in a moment, but we won't get to that for a little bit. As all hell breaks loose, and he's got his fifth child. And
yeah,
he's
I
ready
like
to
the
claim
pose.
victory. Yeah, it's a very triumphant pose. And Ernest is ready to throw down with him right here in the gymnasium.
Yeah, Hackmore is trying to get to everybody, but of course, in the madness, everyone's busting through the doors to get the hell out of Dodge. And yeah, this is when Ernest steps up to the plate. You get a good, hopefully we get the shot. Yeah, a good shot right here of the standoff. Yeah. And this one, Ernest is like, I know what it is. Miak.
Yeah, he's like, Miak. Yeah. But you thought couldn't find it. Just kind of taunting him like, yeah, you're in trouble. You're in real trouble now, pal. It just
And that does a
has to
good
talk a little shit here.
does a good job of like handling the Miak and like tossing it and spinning around and catching
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I wonder how many takes that took, honestly.
God, knowing him, probably did it in one take because he's that damn good.
Yeah, so
But
opens it up, throws it at him.
and then Trantor just unleashes hell with his super breath and just sends Ernest flying into the snack bar.
Yeah, into the snack bar, but not only that, you get a little some soft serve.
And butter and a wide assortment and then Rimshaw's like, I've had enough of this. I'm going after Trantor.
No.
Oh boy, people, you talk about Ernest gets attacked and he just freaks out and then Trantor disappears. He's like, well, he still doesn't get it. Like, I wonder what happened. And they all come and check on Ernest. Like, you're a hero. And here comes Kenny with something in his hands and hands him Rimshot.
Oh.
And you talk about like devastating as a kid watching that. You're like, oh my God. And as an adult watching it now, hits me even more. I didn't have a dog when I first saw this. I've had many dogs over the years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get teary eyed
during that part.
That and
at the end,
especially at the
Okay.
end, man. Like I am not ashamed to admit it because I love dogs, and Ernest is a dog lover, so I'm right there with him. And all the parents, like all they know is like, well, whatever that was, it's all at the Hackmore place. We got to go out there.
Yep. And then now Kenny, the gears are starting to turn in Kenny's head. He's like, wait a second, milk.
Mother's care, milk.
Yeah, because you think about it, it's like, yeah, sucking titties and stuff.
Yeah, a mother's care. Yeah, titties. Titties. What if Kenny's mom was lactating, she'd just go out there and just unleash hell. But
squirt all over him.
Yep.
Look how this dude's just dressed as a chicken, like the San Diego chicken.
Yes, kind of like a shitty version of the gobbledygooker.
Yeah, it's like a shitty version of Raggedy Ann and Andy over here.
Yeah. They probably didn't have rice. We can't go falling out with a lot of like.
Yeah, just go knock off. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, just knock off. And then of course, no one believes Kenny about the milk, and old lady Hackmore's like telling him, you got to do what's right. Don't ignore the adults.
She's gonna take the bike.
Yep, she's gonna take the bike and get on back to the battleground as Ernest is making his way out there to confront Trantor.
Yeah, and Trantor's on his way to place the fifth.
Yep.
Fifth kid, unleash hell.
And Ernest is like, "What good's a wooden dog? Oh, sure, he swims better." He's just talking to himself as he's driving.
And it's like, what am I going to call him? Splinter.
And then here's where the other kids, and this is a little shitty brother.
Mm-hmm.
When Kenny like ignores the bully and just says, "Look, I'm sorry about your brother," and that humbles him. And they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And Kenny's like, "Follow me." And I would get pumped up because like, all right, and here we go, man. The final installment, and here come the pods.
Climax of the movie, Ernest.
Yep. And Ernest is like, all right, bugger lips. After he's
it's funny. It's
tree.
It's funny just the way these worked out.
I think Jim Varney, if he was watching this with us right now, is like, you're capturing some really good images and good facial expressions. It's like, oh my God, look at these Brussels sprouts.
So the thing
is, to catch them before they hit the ground.
Yeah, trying to catch them all because once they hit the ground, this is when the transformation sequence takes place. So he does a good job early on of catching a few of them, but he just can't keep up.
Yeah, it's too many. It's like Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun trying to prevent all the nice antiquities in Ricardo Montalban's penthouse apartment and Naked Gun. Yeah, and he's just like, all right, anything to try and keep this troll from coming out of the ground. And
this will be some good weight with him and the hubcap on top of it. And it does no good. And these trolls are up here. So let's go ahead and make note before we get to this. The Chiodo brothers are credited with the special effects for this film. They also made Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And you'll go to see when we get the spinning animation for these trolls here in a bit. That was the same death effect used for the trolls and Killer Clowns.
And a lot of these trolls that you see in this movie were repurposed molds or actual like the clowns. Like you recognize a lot of the faces just repurposed with troll design as opposed to the clowns, and they work wonderfully.
Yeah, they really do. And when I saw that tidbit and then I saw that animation, I was like, yeah, man, Killer Clowns all the way. But check this out. You're talking about the old Coke
Yeah,
labels, the
and look at
old
that.
Sprite, Seven Up.
It's so limited. It's just Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, and I'm not sure what that is
Well,
next to the Sprite there, but that's back when we had so few options. And look at it's just little 6-pack bottles and cans and and that is it. Can you
yeah,
imagine stocking shelves back then? Like how easy the job would have been back in the day.
oh, it would have been awesome.
Oh man, like this is the only thing we have to stock in the store. This is great.
And I assume that there's probably no like visible in this aisle of Pepsi products, just because, as I mentioned earlier, with Ernest and
Yeah,
the Coca-Cola spots,
Coke.
maybe they're
That on the it looks like double cola is
yeah,
on that one shelf there,
yeah.
like a store brand, like your Dr. K or Dr. Perky or Big K Cola.
But it kind of looks like Pepsi
It
in
does look
its
like the old
design.
Pepsi brand, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. A variant of that, and they're in there, and they're
dude.
getting super soakers, which I was
No,
so pumped.
only one of them gets a super soaker. Everyone
I
else
know.
gets like the generic shit. I'm like, there's another super soaker right
I'm
there.
like, kids, what you guys should be stockpiling these things like a full arsenal of super soakers, but they get which was back in the day. All the water guns look like machine guns, and like even it was pink and blue, like Miami Vice colors. Like I would have been all about that one machine gun, but the super soaker, I didn't
Dude,
get to have one of those as a kid.
I
So that's the one I wanted to was the yellow and green one because that was like the standard issue super soaker.
Yep. I ended up getting that one. I'm like,
Oh
I
man,
have to have this super soaker because that was the one. And then not long after the craze of this one died down, then this is like, oh, we're doubling because this is the super soaker 50. Like, this is the super soaker 100.
my brother had. I remember my brother got the massive bazooka one that had the
Yeah,
strap.
yeah.
He got that with his birthday money. Oh my god! Like boy, that thing was amazing to shoot.
And it was, I wouldn't say it was totally accurate to the commercials, but it came close
Yeah,
with
I mean,
the
the
range.
pump action, like you did get some pretty good sprays. Like the one my brother got that had a pretty powerful jet spray. When you pumped it all the way up to
Yeah,
max where you couldn't do it anymore, if you were close, it was going to have some pretty heavy impact.
get some Karate Kid throwback there.
Yeah, I love that. I thought the kid dressed up as a skeleton was pretty badass going to
Yeah,
fight trolls.
that's a great generic costume.
It is. It always works. It always looks because of the makeup. If the makeup didn't look as awesome too, like if you get the skull makeup, everything else falls into place with the
Yeah,
costume.
I mean, you kind of have to have that cheekbone
Yeah,
part right
and
here.
the nose painted just right, and
Dude,
around the head there. And
check this out, like a shark attack spray
yeah,
gun,
squirt
where
gun. Yeah,
essentially it's like a shark penis
that's
is
a
the
beach
trigger.
toy.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what?
pulling on the shark dick, and Kenny's like loading up on dairy.
Yeah, that was a good shot too. This is what it was like, Tyler, when I worked at the grocery store and they told me that I had to stay over, and I went to the
Yeah.
pet food aisle and the cans were there.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
essentially like, this is what this was like.
Which I always enjoyed your stories of unleashing hell on the stores that you worked in back.
So our manager, worker, owner, he's standing in
Yeah.
front of the wheat checks display, and he's like, "Yeah, you kids, you gotta
I'm gonna
stop.
tell your daddy, Kenny. And they pretty much just say, up yours.
Fuck you, yeah, fuck you," and then they knock him into the wheat checks.
Which I was all about that. I was like, yeah, man, fuck the adults here, man. Except Ernest, like, you got to get your ass. Here they come. Eartha Kitt's on her way, and more trolls are emerging out of the ground.
Yeah, you can see right here.
That's definitely one of the killer clowns from outer space right
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah. And Ernest is getting overwhelmed. Is like, I remember that shot was in one of the TV spots too, right there as they kind of come into frame.
Yeah,
I remember seeing like that's like one of the first glimpses you see of like the trolls and the trolls. Like, oh boy, this is gonna be so exciting. And Ernest is outnumbered here, and he's going to the high ground, using whatever he can to just knock the fuck out of these trolls.
this is when all the parents show up.
Yep, and they get humiliated and getting the shit kicked out of them.
Which there is a really good part coming up here. So the mayor gets dispatched.
This was the creepy. I always thought that was a creepy looking troll there with like the kind of like the long earlobes hanging down there, and yeah, with the axe, like he's going to put in Ernest's head. Ernest climbs up and all the parents are getting dragged all over the place and tormented. Like these trolls are going to tear them apart.
She's getting what she deserves.
Pretty much, yeah. The bitch had it coming. This devil's dragging one by his tail.
Trolls fighting the devil,
and like troll action figures, and they're just thinking about the
they're
publicity.
thinking,
and the money they can make on this.
Yep.
Yeah, money, 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 money. You know, it's like, yeah, true shysters there.
Yeah, hey, Bobby, go get your camera.
Yeah. And Ernest is holding. Here's another one from
Yep,
Killer
killer
Clowns from Outer
clowns. Yeah.
Space. Yep. And I think that was like an ice like vacuum that just spits out ice and just knocks the hell out of the troll, and he falls back. And yeah, of course they got the old fashioned camera there with the big ass, light bulb in it.
Yeah, you take a picture, change the bulb.
Yep. And it's Ernest is the only one making an impact here.
It's like, yeah, time to go for the old 7-10 split, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna roll. He's gonna roll the ball and like knock some people out, right? So no,
he just throws it down this bucket chute on the side of the treehouse, and
yeah. So there's like
out of the bumblebee.
Yeah, there's like a basketball goal like right there, and he just takes it and throws it down. It goes to the hoop and knocks him on the head and knocks him out. And he's just like, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I did. Oh, let me accept. Just like all this cast is going like, I'm gonna fuck around again here and just accept my trophy, my bowling trophy here.
This part made me bust out laughing out loud.
And just thanking everybody, that was there, that always believed in, and even his fourth grade teacher, because he never knew when to quit.
Yeah, so we show this clip again,
and he's just that big ass smile of just pride. And her bike is broken down, and Kenny and the kids pass by, and she just follows suit.
She decides she's gonna hook
it.
Yeah, been there before.
Me too.
Ugh.
God.
Yeah, great. I mean, I love how grotesque everybody looks.
Yeah, because all the trolls are covered in snot, and I just like it. Just adds another level of gross out factor, because they're supposed to be gross. And you know what? Look, if you can't get overly violent or whatever, like add some gross factor to it. And snot is about as simple as a gross out factor that kids.
Yeah, and not even just snot. Just if you just make them slimy.
Yeah. But I love Ernest tries to sell him this bullshit artifact here of a taxidermy of a bass with radios attached to it, and just goes into a full sales pitch as they're approaching them. And then this little sped up sequence here, them chasing him around the treehouse was a fun little sequence. And this little girl is trying to avoid being eaten alive.
God,
Yeah.
So here's the sped up sequence, running around in circles. He's going through the middle. You can't find me here. And then he ends up behind him, and then they all spook each other, and it continues. But this part right here was pretty gnarly.
It was wild to see this as a kid.
Yeah. So the sheriff gets handcuffed to the car. They take his gun. One of the trolls empties the bullets into his mouth. And then as this zany sequence is going on, we cut back to it. The kids here are riding on their bikes, and they're forming their plan. They have the milk loaded up in their super soaker and all their knockoff
water guns and things.
Guns. He sees his dad. There we go. And then we're going. The other troll smacking this troll to make the bullets shoot out of his mouth. I'm like, that's very inventive, but also like, holy shit, like that's pretty dark for a kids movie.
Dark, because Kenny's neck had been shot right in the head multiple times because it aimed right at his head. And Kenny jumps right in front and starts firing milk right at these two trolls and obliterates them.
Yep. And
look at that, oh.
Yeah. That was a good gnarly shot.
Pretty gruesome, yeah.
Yeah, you get like the steam, like the little bubblies coming up from there.
Yeah, and Kenny don't have time to, but his dad's like, oh my God, like, go get him, Kenny.
Yeah. Kenny, go get him, Kenny.
And I was like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, just like that. Just with this face looking just
like and all the kids like it, and I love this because all the parents are in trouble, and this heroic pirate comes and saves this little girl that's in danger.
And here's we might not get to see it as much in these still frames, but it's that whirling effect that we're talking about with Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
But it's cool. It's set up that all the parents are in danger, and it's the kids that have to come and save the day.
Yeah.
And you seen this as a kid, like, this is the kid's ultimate dream, is like saving the day. Like, you're not only saving, your parents, but you're saving the world, from these trolls that are, get ready to, guillotine.
Cut Ernest's head off with this axe.
Yeah. And Kenny comes right to his rescue there and shoots him like right there with like a little like 6-shooter gun.
Yeah.
Kenny explains it's the milk, and then here's another Killer Clown from Outer Space right there.
Yeah.
And Ernest takes a big swig of milk and spits it right in his face. Yeah. And Trantor's like, okay, I need to be enhanced. Like I need the ultimate end boss power up right now. I need to go full on Super Shredder mode right now.
Which he will be momentarily.
Yep.
This is when Hackmore finds the spot with the kids.
And is hoping what is prophesized will happen. So which is why she's putting her kids in the chamber with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Who the hell wouldn't run off if Eartha Kitt screams in your face? I know I would.
Got a regular clown there, Kenny. So now we're getting the multiple personalities again.
Yeah, and here's another one thrown into the mix. No, I forgot that was featured at the beginning of the movie. Everybody from the fighter pilot to the yeah, I just the old lady. Everybody shows up here. Oh yeah, we got the Australian, the Outback huntsman there.
Yeah, I got old Recondo over here.
Yeah, that's Recondo for sure.
So they each take their turns, kind of like doing milk things to take out trolls, which is interesting. You don't need to think about that too much. But I mean, even Kenny points out, it's like, oh, great. Now I got to deal with the multiple
personality. Yeah. Hairspray will fix anything.
It's a good way to lighten the mood during something as it's being a little too scary, I would think.
I mean, because there's so much here that, there's no guarantee that a child watching this wouldn't be terrified, but to have moments where, Ernest is kind of breaking the tone a little bit to eat, pull the foot off the gas just a little bit there, because it's going to get a little extra tense here in a little bit.
Yeah, it is. One of the trolls steals the brother's camera because they've taken a lot of pictures, and we're going to get rich. So he takes it and he swallows the film, and at this point, the kid comes in and destroys the troll.
Cobra Kai comes in and just throws milk right in his face there.
Destroys the troll, destroys the film, and now they got nothing.
Yep, no evidence, no money. Back to the old Farmer Ted here. with the launcher using yogurt.
Yeah, and then interesting enough, using like these. I mean, that probably went to a computer.
It looks like a Nintendo game controller, or
that's what I was kind of thinking too. Yeah. That maybe it went with Nintendo because of the gray,
the red and gray. Yeah,
yeah, but it might not be.
Yeah,
could just
it may be like a knockoff game controller.
Yeah,
but it's clearly something they just attached to. But it looks cool. It makes perfect sense as like a controller for this yogurt launcher. Just look at how awesome these. And then of course Kenny's like, "Oh my god!" And then has another option. It's powdered milk. He throws it into the fan.
Throws it in the fan. The fan blows it into this troll. Takes him out. One of Ernest's personalities pours some down in this little crack in the wood.
It makes milk done gone bad. And just more and more, and then launches this mailbox drop of dairy products out in the field and Trantor is getting powered up here, people.
Yeah, you see the ears
bigger.
The ears stretch out. The fingernails are growing out. Oh yeah,
he's becoming the ultimate end boss right now here, people. Yeah, kids might get a little scared watching this shit go down. I just love these trolls. They're so much fun to look at.
I mean, just really good. And as we said, even though some of them repurposed from Killer Clowns, it still looks amazing. Yeah,
it's been so cool to be on the set this day when they're having the big end battle. To have just been just part of this, like on site, and then they think, oh, it's all done. All the trolls are. We did it. It's not over. It's not over yet. And there he is. Here he comes, people. Into the game, boss.
Yeah, see, the mom looks different with the wetter hair and everything. It almost looks like a totally different actress.
She does.
Lifts up some flames to separate Ernest and Kenny from everyone else.
Yep, they're pretty much trapped, and Ernest gets knocked out, and Kenny's left all by himself up in the treehouse. Like, I told you, Kenny, it's the legend. You're like, oh my god, he's going, talking like Elizabeth again.
Yeah, and then Kenny shoots him with some milk. At this point, he says, the milk not going to do anything to me now.
Yep.
And you're just like, holy shit, how are you going to defeat this guy?
And he's not. And Kenny falls victim. You're like, holy shit, dude! Like we've and the doll falls down to the ground in front of his parents. Like, oh my god! Like, dude, they went there. They went there.
Yeah. And not only that, I don't know if it'll show it here, but when he drops down, he steps right on
Oh yeah,
Kenny's.
he lands on the Kenny statue,
Yeah. And I'm just
and
like, oh,
yeah,
what?
there it is. Like he's
Yeah.
standing right on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's a great way. It's like again, it's emphasizing like we're going there, people. These kids are dead. They're doomed. They're not coming back. You know, and yeah, look at that right there. And all the
You,
little tendrils, but like they're moving around like something out of John Carpenter's The Thing.
yeah. Uh,
And the mucus and slime on his hands, like they going full. I mean, all the saliva, more and more mucus coming out of both noses.
or snot.
Yeah, and Ernest is the only one that can stop him here, and thinks it's going to be milk,
Yeah.
and starts to kind of realize as everyone's cheering him on, do something, and she's like, he doesn't understand. It's the heart of a child, and he looks and says, wait a sec, like unconditional love. Just, come here, big fella, and just runs right to him and starts dancing with him. Picks him up and just starts dancing with him. And they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. Little.
Then,
I get what they're going for. I will say that it is a little goofy to end
it
it
is.
that way.
I mean, the music is what really amps up the goofiness, and then go in for the death blow as he gives Trantor a kiss, which is unconditional love, and that is what does him in. Yep, and obliterates Trantor, and all is well here. The trolls are all gone,
Ernest
and
is celebrating with everyone, and he's talking, and then all of a
hey,
sudden,
Kenny comes back,
Kenny comes back.
and slowly here comes Joey, here comes Elizabeth.
Which it's surprising that Elizabeth having such a big role early on in the movie. I kind of would have figured that she would have been one of the final ones fighting with Kenny, given their relationship kind of building and building to that point. She kisses him on the cheek. I wouldn't have expected her to just kind of go out at that point in the movie.
I think that builds up the threat, though. Like I like the fact that they went there. Like I get what you're saying, and that makes sense. But the fact that they all fall victim to this. Like I love that even though it looks like Kenny's gonna be the main hero of this, no, he falls victim too.
Yeah.
That all the kids like can't avoid this threat, and I love that they make them that vulnerable.
Yeah. It was just weird because you see her kind of more like upper main character.
And she's very intelligent. Like she
Yeah.
buys into the legend to me, almost as if like she might be the one who makes it to the end with Ernest and not Kenny. Because
Right.
she's all automatically thinking like this could be the legend of Trantor come to life.
So the kids are back. The mom is like, I'll stop being a bitch, I promise.
Yeah, maybe your dad will give me something tonight.
And then he's like, don't count on it, Cheryl, or whatever.
Yeah. Change your wardrobe, bitch.
I do like this guy is like the old judge. He just uses a bunch of toilet paper rolls for the powdered wig.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah.
And everyone's just coming to talk to Ernest, and like, all right, we got some business endeavors to make with you here. And here come these other kids. Like, where did these Little House on the Prairie kids come from? And they're the ones that Eartha Kitt put in the tree.
Yeah, they recognize. They're like, Miss Hackmore, you're old. And she's like, yeah, I got a lot of explaining to do, and that's got to be kind of jarring for these kids showing up. What the God?
Oh my God, probably over a century ago.
I don't know.
Well, maybe not that far back.
Because it's not really explained too much. Like, obviously, she would have had to have been there during that time when they first put Trantor in the ground, right? So
I would have figured she'd had to have been a child when
maybe she was kids with them. Then? Yeah.
And
it's not really touched on too much, but I got the general gist of she kept them for this time, hoping the day would come to bring them back, kind of thing.
And that these two other children have no family,
right?
But and so like, okay, so she is probably going to raise these four as her own in modern day, and have to explain that your parents and your families,
everyone lineage, is dead.
Yeah, like that, and it's just like glossed over. But if you break it down like that, these kids are in for a pretty rude awakening of trying to
Mhm.
understand like
Technology.
technology, modern day, and that yeah, you missed out because that asshole troll turned you into statues.
Yeah. So we
And
move
then we
on to
cut
that.
back. Oh
Everyone's
boy,
moved on from Ernest, and now Ernest is the realization starting to sink in that he doesn't have anybody
yeah.
like the kids do and the parents do.
And Eartha Kitt sees this and walks over to him and what's wrong? He's like, there's nothing in that big tree for me. And then oh my god, and then this and he running
And
out. I'm
Tyler
like,
just starts crying.
I do, and I'm like, I can't, I don't give a fuck, man. Like Ramshot runs and jumps, and that just, oh my god, like you know, he said, you miss your daddy, oh my god, and yeah, he just falls down on the ground and just embracing Rimshot, and even Eartha Kitt is just moved by this, like she just can't help but just it's silly, but it's sweet as she looks at the camera, and end credits.
And we get credits.
Yep.
So that was Ernest Scared Stupid. Tyler, out of 5 stars, what do you give Ernest Scared Stupid?
A big fucking fat 5 stars, man. It's a colossal film. Wonderful. I hate that the legacy of Jim Varney and Ernest has pretty much just been lost to time outside of people who just grew up with the movies. And that's it. Like he's never had a resurgence of like merchandise the way a lot of like old school celebrities had
Yeah.
with T-shirts and merchandise or posters or anything. Like this movie on Blu-ray is out of print. You got
Hmm.
to pay like $50 or more to get a copy of this on
And,
Blu-ray. You
and
can
I
get it
think
on DVD cheap, which is what
and I
I've got.
and I think even then it's what Mill Creek or whoever that put
I
it out.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those offshoot brands that
Yeah.
got this
Now
stuff. But
you can get the others. Like I have Ernest Goes to Jail separately on Blu-ray, and then I've got a 3-pack DVD with Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to Jail, and Ernest Scared Stupid, which is the only hard copy I have of this.
yeah.
Um, but
I think I may have bought one of those packs with those movies on it on DVD ages ago when it was like it was prominent in the $5 bin. I
yeah,
remember.
this was a regular $5 bin at Walmart for sure back in the
Yeah,
day.
but you're right. I guess maybe it's just the people that have the rights just don't want to do anything with it. I guess it's kind of a
There is a
shame.
documentary coming out about Jim Varney, and I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but the trailer's on YouTube, and it looks wonderful. I mean, they break down the TV commercials, the show, him, and it just like it looks like it's one of the documentaries that's just gonna be a wonderful, like the Paul Rubens one.
The importance of being earnest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to see if it's got a release date on it. I just see like 2025 and everything. I'll have to check that out. And
Yeah.
honestly, I need to check out revisit, I guess, the other Ernest movies that I had
I
watched.
started to send you a clip from one of my favorite clips from Ernest Goes to Jail today, like while you're out and about to entertain you. I was like, I might just wait, because I'm like, I don't know. I've watched so many clips. I just like Ernest Goes to Jail so much because there's so many good moments, especially like in the beginning of the movie. Oh my God, like him in court, and then him at the restaurant. There's sequences that all my entire family would sit and laugh our asses off and rewind it and watch it again and laugh our asses off.
Is that the one that you would recommend next to watch after
Yes,
having watched
absolutely.
Scared
Because
Stupid?
that one and this are by far my absolute favorites. Like they're flawless, fun films with everything that I love about Ernest is represented in those two movies. And you know, I haven't watched Ernest Saves Christmas in years, like decades.
Mhm.
It just, and maybe I might try and watch it for this holiday again. I tried watching Ernest Goes to Camp again a few like last month just for the fun of it, and I just I didn't find it as enjoyable. Like it's got a fun cast and a fun premise, but it was kind of more campy, no pun intended. Like it's the humor is not as it's more dated, I guess you
Okay.
could say. Like everyone around him
All
and
right.
stuff like that. Like there are some of the regulars in the Ernest movies that are in that one as well. But I like even as a kid, I watched it. It was Ernest, and I just enjoyed Ernest Goes to Jail and Scared Stupid so much. I just felt like they were better films, in my opinion.
Now that makes sense. As far as a 5-star rating for me for Ernest Scared Stupid, watching it for the first time in over 30 years, I kind of got to be right there with you. I feel like I got to give it a big old fat 5. It's just, there's just something about it. Obviously, the setting being Halloween and everything, the fact that it's creepy and it has those moments to it that I think would be fun to watch with your kids if they are of appropriate age. The jokes land. It's funny. 90 minutes long, but it feels way shorter than that. Like you never feel bored while you're watching.
I mean, it's a fast pace. I mean,
it's just we got to
stop.
It doesn't stop, and it's kind of a shame that I haven't watched it. So much time has passed. I actually had posted an image of it to my stories on social media, and my cousin Jamie messaged me, and she was like, "Is that Booger Lips?" And I was like, "Indeed." And she was like, "I love that movie," and I was like, "I haven't watched it since it was out on VHS to rent." She's like, "What?" So she wanted me to give her a shout out on here and say that it's one of her favorite movies.
I love that. That's wonderful. If she watches this, I hope she enjoys our complete breakdown of the movie.
I don't think she'll watch it.
Okay, well,
she'll get bored of us talking about it. I'm just going to watch the movie myself for another period of time. But we'll go over some of the comments that we had in the chat, and I'll go over our feedback from last week. We'll go ahead and wrap it up after that because it's been a little long in the tooth, this one has. But K-Stellar Daniel Garcia, I still prefer Ernest Goes to Camp. So
and that was the first one. And you know what? Maybe if that was your first one, or for whatever reason that one just resonates with you more, I get it.
Yeah. Allie, let's see. Ally. No, wait. Allie. Allie Ben. This one's always been my favorite Ernest movie, and then
mine too.
To be honest, I actually avoided the movie for about 3 years because kids at school said it was scary.
I love that there was like word of mouth, like, "Oh, you don't watch this."
Building it up. I think that was part of it.
Great.
I think between kids saying it was scary, I do remember seeing TV spots for Ernest Scared Stupid and being like, "Oh, that seems scary. I like Ernest a lot, but I don't want to see him like this." And then Burnt Virtue. I know it's a weird regional expression, but you can't cut something on, whether in traffic or with a pair of scissors. You can only cut it off. So
I don't know. I feel like, you always say turn it on. You don't say cut it on.
Tomato,
Turn it on, cut it off.
Yeah. I will move on now to the feedback that we got last week. Let me get this loaded up here.
Let me use the restroom real quick before you dig into that.
All right. So
back.
while you're digging that, I'll talk about some stuff. So while Tyler is using the restroom, make sure you check out all the links in the description below. Tyler and I talked about Fans of Power stuff the past couple of weeks. Some of you may have noticed that it's not easily readily available as it once was on the channel, but if you scroll down on the page, it's probably easier to find on mobile. If you go under playlists, you can probably just click on the playlist tab. Fans of Power Archive is there. All of those episodes and shows are there for you to still be able to watch. But that was something that I've been meaning to do for a little bit, so I decided now was the time. And then check out Serial Geek TV. It's James E. Talk's channel. He's joined us quite often here in recent months, so go check out his content there. Of course, Penny Dreadful, friend of the show. She does podcast Terror at Collinwood. It's a podcast focusing on Dark Shadows. So if Dark Shadows is your thing, or if it's something you thought about getting into and checking out, go check out her show. What else we got down there? Battle Ram blog, where anytime we do character spotlights, that's where I'm always getting most of the material. And then, of course, the new He-Man.org, which is still a work in progress. I haven't checked on that in a little bit, but they're hard at work on that. So check out all the links down below in the description. We'll move on now to all these comments. Our first one comes from Jordell Fresh Breeze. You got me thinking, and this is our character spotlight Scareglow episode from last week, for those of you wondering. You got me thinking about how Scareglow and Ninjor are often paired together despite seeming to be quite different. Do you consider that Ninjor could be a supernatural being like Scareglow, as we see from his weird clawed feet that he is not simply an ordinary human being. This might explain how they are connected if they are both powerful, demonic, or ghostly entities from another realm, although each of them takes a very different appearance. You ever think about the fact that maybe Ninjor could have a supernatural aspect to him?
It's not a bad approach. I've just never thought that though. I looked at him as a a ninja, but obviously comes from another dimension of like almost like they don't have ninjas on Eternia. So I feel like this is kind of, even though you have Jitsu, master martial arts, a ninja, a little bit different. Um, but the fact that he comes from another dimension, I'm like, not Earth, but
Hmm.
explain why he probably has clawed feet. That he's a human with you know demonic looking feet,
Yeah.
and hands. That's kind of how I look at it. That they come from two completely different parts of universes, galaxies, and dimensions. And I mean, I've always kind of like, a lot of times like to put them together, but as I said last week, and I emphasize even more, like Scareglow would break away and do his own thing, and Ninja would remain like a loyal assassin to Skeletor,
Okay.
or almost even like a bodyguard,
Yeah.
like someone that you would see like in the council chamber, like Ninja is standing there next to Skeletor with his arms crossed, silently, and just waiting for the first command of like, all right, Ninjor, dispatch this. Ninjor, go take care of this. And then he doesn't talk back. He just follows orders because he's loyal to Skeletor. Like, I just loved it. I just would like to see an image of Skeletor sitting on that throne very sternly, and then Ninjor just with his head kind of lowered, arms crossed, just waiting for the next command. I just think it was such a badass image.
But
And then
interesting.
scare.
Oh, no. Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, no, very, very interesting approach though. I could definitely see that, and as a possibility for the me personally, I I I just see Scareglow as more of the supernatural character. And after last week, I started thinking more and more about that particular story. Like I was like, I even had like another concept for another Scareglow story. Like, oh my god, like let me take that and add it to this.
Hmm.
And when me and Nathan decide we're going to do that Scareglow story, I'll add that into the story there. And I look forward to doing that because the more I started thinking about this, like, God, it's like, damn, this is going to be like a really fun story. And I'm hoping the next project Kevin's going to do for me will be an image from that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Stay tuned. Casey Duncan, I've never seen the classics version of Scarecrow. It looks amazing. So I
yeah.
responded to that. And I said it was awesome. That was your first time seeing that figure. And then it got me thinking because classics line seems like something that sort of fell off for a lot of people. So I almost feel like we need to do a classics retrospective and show off every character that came out in the line at some point.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that because it still astonishes me that so many people, I know a lot missed it, and then even more had no idea it even went on. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people had no idea the 2000 X line went on,
Yeah. So maybe
or
that's
New
somewhat
Adventures.
we'll do down the road to a retrospective, the Mattel iteration, the continuation with Super 7, warts and all, some of the characters that suck, but it
Oh God,
just show them all that were in the
yeah.
line.
We'll just
Um,
we'll just make fun of them, you know.
Gary Buchanan, thank you for elaborating, gentlemen, and in terms of us talking about the whole Fans of Power ordeal last week. I champion Masters and other lines like you guys. It's about the passion for the art and mythology, not pessimistic opinions and products insulting something we adore.
I appreciate that, and I want to just hang on my air. I got notification my AirPod battery's getting low, so
Okay.
I may have to pull them out here in a little
Okay.
bit, but I just want to thank everyone so far, and I will continue to thank everybody we got some amazing feedback last week, and I waited because we had so many good ones like to address all these. So,
Yeah.
Casey, thank you for giving me your thoughts on the Scary Classics, and that obviously seemed like a good idea for us to cover down the road. And Gary, yeah, you got plenty of people hating on a lot of stuff, and we're not doing this to deliberately shit on stuff. Things will come up that upset me more than Nathan, and it's all out of passion for this property because I don't want to see it treated poorly. I want to see all the characters treated with the utmost respect and the most apex and alpha level of badass that they all deserve. I don't like them looking terrible. I don't like them being treated as jokes on the internet, on YouTube, as shitty memes. I don't like it. I don't stand for it. I don't think it's funny. It's not cute. It does a disservice to the mythology, and anyone who likes it, fuck you.
Mike Lomax. That was a cool deep dive on Scareglow, character in my view that could take over from Skeletor as the next Lord of Destruction. Wouldn't know how that would happen. Skeletor defeated or imprisoned by He-Man, the power within Castle Grayskull, or by Scareglow himself. So looking forward to the next episode to see which film you're going to be talking about, because we kind of made it vague that we were going to be doing Ernest Scared Stupid. Johnny, I'm so glad that you two are having fun streaming podcasting again. It makes for better content, and it's great for your health and well-being. While I usually don't share the same opinions, or at least a degree of said opinions, I love when you guys get unhinged. So,
which it's there are genuine moments where I'm being serious about my opinion about it. I'm also like not someone who loses sleep about this stuff. Like I get upset about how Mattel handles He-Man right now, but outside of when I talk about it now, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because nothing can take away what I have in my room, the artwork that I have had done, how I envision He-Man. Those assholes can't take that away from me. So I don't sit and dwell on it, because I feel like somebody just sits in there, mashes on the keyboard, they're finding anything, oh my God, they posted, you like this? Well, you're gonna burn in hell, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You're gonna get yours.
Yeah. Fuck those people.
Rebel Wookie. Hey guys, great episode. Scareglow was one of the characters I didn't know about until becoming an adult collector. I wish I knew about him and several others sooner so I could have gotten the figure cheaper. I've missed the last few episodes due to family commitments and getting back to school. I don't know if I'll be able to catch many episodes live, but I'm trying to catch up when I can. As far as channel content goes, I enjoy most everything you do, whether it's comics, movies, or He-Man related. I just don't always have the time to catch it all. Also, thanks for the insight into what happened with Fans of Power. I appreciate the explanation and understand what you said. Just wanted to check in and let you know that even if I'm not in the comments, I'm still here. So yeah, appreciate you, Rebel Wookie, for checking and watching when you can. You do that when you need to. You concentrate on your family stuff and your school stuff.
And we'll be there to provide entertainment during your downtime. Doesn't matter when people listen, as long as you're willing to give us your time at some point. We're just very grateful and thankful that people give us their time period. And it's up. If you're having fun, we're having fun. And if we're having fun, you should be having fun.
Yep, absolutely. Nathan the Barbarian. Great show, guys. Scareglow was a favorite of mine back in the day. And remember thinking he was extra cool because my heavy metal loving older brother maybe said he was cool too. Looked like he belonged on the cover of a Creator album, and then gave like the anyway, I really appreciate what you guys do on here and can count on one hand how many podcasts I listen to, so that's telling you something. I like the old crew, but I'll admit sometimes it seems like too many people are on and trying to talk at once. Hopefully you're all on good terms still, and think a two-man format with the occasional special guest is working out best.
It is, and we still every single week we'll tell each other, if not Nathan telling me or me telling Nathan, how happy we are with the way things are. There's no stress, there's no bullshit. We know we're gonna have a great time. We know the listeners are gonna enjoy it. You may not like the topic, but the people who do check it, and that's another thing too. Like we like taking breaks, talk about comics, talk about movies, but He-Man's gonna be the main thing. But we know everything we may talk about may not be everyone's cup of tea, but we take pride in providing a variety of topics where it's not. We don't want to get very redundant or repetitive. It's a nice mix up of things, and we had to deal with like, oh my God, how are they going to respond? We don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
Yeah,
we could not be more pumped to do this episode tonight. Well, we'll say that. Like, we were very excited to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I was too, having not seen it in so long, and just Tyler's how much he loves it, and giving my response to it. And I told him a little bit about the parts that made me laugh. Yesterday, but
I was so eager. Like, just give me something. Like, tell me something. Because I was like, you know what? It could be a chance Nathan doesn't like this film. He's like, it was okay.
No. The only way I think I wouldn't have liked it is if it would have just been too kiddie, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If they really would have dumbed it down, which they didn't. The last two comments are comments more from Johnny and Jordell Fresh Breeze. Let me go to Jordell's first. Supernatural's figures had glow-in-the-dark weapons and accessories, so Tyler was correct.
Thank you for confirming that, because part of me was like, I think they did, but I just didn't know at the moment.
And then Johnny, this will be our final one, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So, in your current headspace, do you, Tyler, enjoy any media put out after 2004? While I don't share the same dislike of most modern stuff, I can see where the apprehension comes from. I acknowledge the efforts put out by people doing their jobs and artists making stuff. The big thing is Hollywood or whatever umbrella corporation are so risk averse. So it's reboot this and reboot that, collab this and that. I don't know how to explain it, but I think the biggest problem is that when things get announced, we see it as that's dumb, or you only feel the presence of boardroom meetings, legal and accounting departments saying, yes, do this and seal the deal. It will make money. I'm looking at stuff in Japan, Korea, China are putting out now when I don't want to just feel like it's a boardroom going, people who grew up in the 80s to 90s will gobble this up if we do it again, but edgier. My other complaint with modern Western media is bloated and expensive. How bloated and expensive everything is. How can Godzilla -1 be done for $10 to $15 million, but no Hollywood movie that has action and special effects seem to be able to be done for under $200 million now? Is one key factor worth a quarter of the movie's budget, and does the special effects have to be that important to make it work? Just kind of go on here. That said, the newer stuff makes me happiest. The newer stuff that makes me happiest are really stylistic animated movies, comedies, and more character-driven dramas and periodic pieces. And then Johnny said that he was going to go see Good Boy, the haunted house movie from the perspective of a dog, which I had heard about, and that seems that seems really interesting. I responded to this, and then I'll let you kind of speak for yourself. I said, I know Tyler really enjoyed Spectacular Spider-Man and the 2012 Ninja Turtles. There have been movies in the last 20 years he's enjoyed as well, Godzilla -1 being one of them. Good stuff has come out, just feels few and far between, especially the last 10 years. And I said we would elaborate a little more on it.
Yeah.
There's been stuff that's come out since 2004 that you've enjoyed.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I think about the first Captain America, or the first two Captain Americas, the first Iron Man. I love the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Like, I thought, to me, that's the definitive Spider-Man movie. Yeah, the sequel, just bosh. It was no different than, like, too much bullshit, too much of Sony getting in the mix. But I love the Mandalorian season 1 and 2. There were some roadblocks or bumps in the road in those seasons, but overall they were highly enjoyable. Daredevil on Netflix. That first season, the best thing that Marvel, that anything that Marvel been put out, is that first season is the best Marvel piece of entertainment that's come out in probably the last 20 years. Like, I think that's the best, better than Iron Man, Captain America, even Spider-Man. Like, I just think it was so well done. The build up of the introduction of the Kingpin, the black costume leading up to the red costume.
Mm-hmm.
In season 2 was a great follow up with the Punisher and Elektra, and it was just so damn good. Like, that level of quality. That why couldn't we get more of that with the rest of the superhero stuff? Like, I don't want to dread or like shit on another Batman or Superman. I want to be excited for this stuff. Unfortunately, they're all about emphasizing more comedic tones in superhero movies. Like, look, dude, like, it worked with Guardians of the Galaxy, but does every fucking superhero movie have to be geared towards comedy? The villain's got to be silly. The hero's got to be silly. The side characters, everyone's got to have their shot at telling really, really bad jokes. And I'm just like, have you people ever read a comic book from the 60s to the 90s to modern day? They're not telling jokes. They're not.
Let's talk about more of the stuff that you have enjoyed. Collateral, that came out in 2004.
That's what got me into, like, wanting to check out Tom Cruise's back catalog, was that movie. Fucking masterpiece of a movie.
What are some other movies that you can think of that you've enjoyed the last?
The John Wick films.
Yeah.
The first two especially. 3 and 4, they kind of break their own rules and go, they jump the shark, so to speak. But the first two were amazing films. And I know there were some others too. I was trying to think of some of the more recent movies, but the Spectacular Spider-Man's season 1. I wish we'd gotten to season 3, because overall, beautifully done show, good animation. I liked most of the voice acting in it. I liked most of the portrayals of the villains in it. The 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated show, I was surprised at how much I liked it. It had some duds, as every show does, but overall it was damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Creed, Creed
I
would be up
Creed
there.
1 and 2, 3. No, I thought Nathan liked it. I did not. It wasn't
I,
horrible, but it
I
didn't live
mean,
up to the level of quality that 1 and 2 did.
yeah, I think I put it third now. I kind of
Yeah.
bounce back and forth. I haven't watched it since that time that it came out. I usually just watch the first one like a bajillion
Well,
times.
because the first one by far I think was the best one because Drago's son was very forgettable. He's just like a very generic big guy, and that's it. There's nothing memorable
Yeah,
about him. But the Expendables films, like the first 2, I loved. Third one sucked balls. Didn't
yeah.
want to, and I refused to see the fourth one.
There was
Um,
you like the movie Rogue, right? I know you haven't went back and watched it.
oh yeah, that about the crocodile and Crawl.
Yeah,
And
Crawl.
I like the Shallows with the what's her name, Ryan Reynolds' wife or girlfriend,
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. Like I really and because most shark movies they haven't made a decent shark movie since Jaws. They've all been shit. It's either just fucking Sharknado or just really bad Roger Corman movies that are just like who the hell's watching this shit or another shitty sci-fi original.
Yeah.
But The Shallows took a great white movie and what I've heard good things about 47 meters down. Never saw it though. And there's a movie coming out from Australia called I think Beast or something like that, which is it's like during World War II or something, and these soldiers get trapped at sea, and there's a great white devouring the members of the crew like one by one, and it looks like there's kind of remnants of what the sinking of the U.S. Indianapolis speech that Robert Shaw gives in Jaws, like people being bitten in half below the waist and stuff
Hmm.
like that in this movie. It looks very intriguing. I liked the first the remake of it. I thought the first part was wonderful. The second part sucked balls. It was fucking terrible, boring as shit, and it went
I,
nowhere.
I didn't mind the second part.
It's just like
Obviously, the first
it had
one's
so
better,
much
but
potential. The thing is, it had potential. What because I thought the casting of James McAvoy, I
mhm.
thought that was wonderful casting. I thought Bill Hader cast as Richie. I thought that was great too. And it got sloppy. Like the old lady that Beverly comes in. I thought like this is gonna be creepy. This nasty old lady walking around naked in the background, and then she comes out as this giant googly eyed Scooby Doo monster. Like what the hell is this shit? It's just like no, again just bad. But and when they first came out, I was trying to like them. Like when Batman Begins came out, I didn't want to admit that I hated Christian Bale's voice because I'm like I
Mhm.
was just thankful to have a new Batman movie out, and I did not want to admit I fucking hated his voice. Oh god, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And there's plot holes and bad acting and I just didn't want to admit it. And I eventually just come to terms like you know what? No, it's not a good movie. It's a good story, just acting's not great, execution's wrong, and Christopher Nolan has the sloppiest editing when it comes to action sequences. Dark Knight, Heath Ledger rules that movie, everything else sucks balls in that movie. And Dark Knight Rises, fuck you. Tom Hardy, what a shitty Bane he was. Anne Hathaway, shitty Catwoman.
All right. What are some of the other movies you've liked?
Sorry. um,
Now we have to admit, we were both over the moon for Dark Knight when it came out. Like Tyler
yeah,
was
we were like
ecstatic
we
about
were
it.
crazy. We were like, oh my god, like we were buying posters, anything Nathan got me a bootleg of it when it came out, like
Oh
way
yeah.
before it came out.
Oh yeah.
Just ecstatic for it. Like Nathan was in Alaska, and I saw it opening night and was like overwhelmed with joy.
I
And
called you
he
because
called me on the way
hadn't
home, and
seen it yet.
I was just like like I was all like crying all over myself. It's just like it was amazing, and I saw it 7 times in theaters.
I think I saw
And
it 8.
yeah, what's that?
I think I saw it like 8 times.
I guess you did just to try and beat me. I guess
I
I think by that
guess.
point probably, but um, crazy about it. And then much like with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Ben Affleck's Daredevil, get it home on
Better
DVD
than
and like
Batman '89. Tyler
yeah.
Bacon.
I told you I was fat and it was Valentine's Day. And I need something to believe in. But you realize that oh
I
my
won't
god,
back down. Bow, bow, bow.
fuck that soundtrack. And you start to realize like, why did I think this was so great in theaters? Oh my god, the action is so bad.
You really like the scene when it's him and Elektra introduces herself to Matt Murdock and they're fighting on the playground.
And
I
yeah,
know
it was just
you
like,
loved it.
oh, oh my God, I want to meet a girl like this. I want to find on the playground with her.
Yeah, and like you said, it was Valentine's Day and you were sad.
Yeah, I was sad, and I just got a Valentine's Day from someone I didn't want one from, and I was like, this sucks. Life sucks. But I really wanted
And
to
then
buy into
Fuels
thinking
Won't
that it
Back
was
Down's
really,
playing in the background.
yeah. Uh,
Ah, I love it.
but there. I mean, because like I remember enjoying House of a Thousand Corpses, like and the sequel Devil's Reject, because me and Nathan went
Yep.
to go see the Turtles 2007 movie, the CGI movie, the
Hmm.
first one that came out. Like all the turtle stuff is wonderful. The villains suck in it,
Yeah,
but
the story just wasn't that
story's not
strong.
great.
Yeah.
But all the turtles, like, or the voice acting is great. The turtles, they look great. So me and Nathan saw it in theaters, and we
Mhm.
both marked out for the Leo Raft fight on the rooftop in the rain. Like, oh my god!
Me
So
especially.
yeah, Leo still would have kicked his ass, and it
Nah.
pretty much did. But anyway, point is, we really enjoyed the movie. Like, um, the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that kicked all kinds of ass. Like
I haven't
that's
watched I haven't watched that in a long time, but maybe that's something I should revisit because I've been trying to watch a horror movie every day. Been pretty successful so far. Maybe I'll add that to the list because I haven't seen that in a while.
I remember I tried showing that to Erica about maybe 6 7 years ago, and
Too
we got it.
gnarly. Too
Huh?
gnarly. It's like
Oh, dude,
too
dude,
like
we didn't even make it to the assault on the trailer.
oh, really?
Like she got so worked up. And she's like, "Turn it off, Tyler." Like we haven't got to the assault. I know what's gonna happen. Like just turn it off.
So
And
you
we,
should what you should have done is just put on the Hills Have Eyes 2.
oh god, what a piece of shit that
Yeah,
was.
that was a
God,
colossal piece of shit.
no, but yeah, like I think during the 2000s, like me and Nathan were going to the movies all the time. Me and my brother, or me, Nathan, and my brother were all going together, going to the movies, seeing a ton of stuff that we liked at the time. At this point, like doesn't really hold up for a lot of stuff, but Collateral does, and certain other films do. Um, as I told her, I just got spoiled by the quality of the '80s and the early '90s action movies, like you know, Predator, Rambo, Roadhouse, Point Break. You know, real. I mean, anything with Arnold Stallone, Van Damme. Like I'm used to classic action heroes who not only can act the part but look the part. I don't enjoy seeing Liam Neeson being the alpha male. Like I like the first Taken, it's fun for what it was, but like, dude, that's all he's ever done ever since then.
I mean, they made 3 of those?
Three or
4?
four of those sequels, and like I had no interest in seeing the sequels, but it's just like you know, Brad Pitt is good in some action movies, but I didn't, he didn't need to be the lead in a lot of action movies. Like I just hated that, my guys were no longer bankable at the box office anymore. They started doing straight to video stuff, and
Oh, they made a TV show out of it too?
I
Fucking
didn't know they did that.
yeah, whatever. Point is, Johnny, there have been
Yeah,
quite a bit of things that Tyler has enjoyed in the last 20 years. Same for me as well. I think probably more so me than
definitely more
Tyler.
Nathan than me.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I really don't want to dislike this stuff because for a long time I was so open minded about a lot of stuff coming out, and just wanted to like. I remember thinking the Thomas Jane Punisher was amazing when I first saw him. What a piece of shit that movie is, you
It's
know.
not even Cuban Howard.
Yeah, fuck that movie. Like Dolph Lundgren's Punisher got it right the first time, and then John Bernthal's Punisher, like he's the follow up on that.
We'll leave you guys with this as we approach the 3 hour mark. Tyler, Howling 2, I get why
Oof.
I think it's dumb fun. Is it like a 5 star so bad it's good movie for me? No, but I put it on. I enjoyed it. I mean, fuck, man. Anytime you got Red Brown pointing a gun at something and
Yeah, it's
shooting
so
at things,
but it was just
I
bad,
know,
not in a
I
good
know,
way. It's just
I
oh.
I get it. Civil
And
Danning
I got a
though.
review to give you as well too when you're done talking about the Howling too.
I mean, I'm basically done talking about it. I mean, obviously, most people know it because of the end credit where that song that plays
Oh
throughout the
yeah,
movie, and
yeah,
they just have her ripping her shirt
yeah,
open and
yeah.
using that clip over and over. It's stupid, but I like it. I'm sorry.
No, no,
I
no.
like it.
I wish I could have like stomached it, but I'm like
Yeah.
I can't sit through this shit. This is just bad, and not in a good way, not in a funny. Tom Bryce here recommends. Oh, actually, he did recommend the Howling 2 to me. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. Like, man, this
I
movie's
think
a chore.
I think you skew a little more towards like bad action as opposed to like bad horror overall.
And I would think too. I feel like I would appreciate bad horror, from watching so many Mystery Science Theater movies and stuff like that too. But I think a lot of the one. Well, I think about some of the Michelle Bauer movies that I watched. I mean, a lot of those
Mhm.
are horror related. I mean, some of them are not as memorable as others. But I don't mind a shitty horror movie. By any means. It just depends on how bad it is. Like, is this funny bad? It's just like, nah, this is not fun bad. It's just bad.
All right, what review do you have for me before we?
Evil Dead 2,
Oh boy,
and I didn't like it, dude.
you didn't
I
like it?
did not like it at all. Like
Too much yelling.
and that's when I had my breaking point. Like this is just too
When
much.
Bobby Joe and all those characters come into the fold,
When they show up, and even then, I feel like they don't belong in this movie. It just feels like it just feels force fed to bring other people into this movie to kind of get them in someone else involved since Ashley's girlfriend's gone.
Mhm.
We got to have some other people possessed, and I'm thinking like this just doesn't feel natural. And there's nothing wrong with the effects. There's nothing wrong with the setting. There's nothing wrong with the way it's shot. Like the cinematography is fantastic. It's just
It's
the
those
tone.
characters and the constant. I
It's
watched I watched Evil Dead 2 towards the beginning of October. Gotta say, kind of with you on that. When I reached the point and they got there, I'm appreciating everything else about it. So in that regard, I still hold it in high esteem, just based off of how it's shot, what they
yeah.
did, practical effects, etc. But those characters and like the constant yelling and everything, like it's too loud and it's too much,
Ugh.
and I kind of didn't. Yeah, so I'm with you. I don't disagree with you at
As I
all.
was watching, I was like, I kind of prefer the first one. And the first one, it's the tone is consistent. I find it more creepier, which I felt like
Hmm.
they were going more for like, well, what are you going for? You going for creep or comedy? Because Army of Darkness, I felt like it was a consistent tone of a blended. It was like vanilla and chocolate mix. It's
Hmm.
like it's already blended so well together. This is all over the place. Well, what are you going for here? It looked like you're going pretty serious, and all of a sudden it just gets silly and goes back to serious, and then back to like Looney Tunes. Like, dude, come on, man, pick a damn tone.
Hmm.
Or you should have been mixing it well at the beginning of the movie to kind of set it up, and it's inconsistent. And once you get everyone in there and everyone's just being possessed and screaming, I'm like, oh my god, turn this shit off. It's just too much. But I really enjoyed the practical effects, the stop motion animation of his possessed girlfriend coming back. Like that was fun. It was good.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm just like, my god, this is giving me a fucking headache, man. And it just wasn't fun.
Yeah, I think it's because I've seen this a lot with other people and talking about it, and then experiencing it myself. I think you probably not so much, but I guess I bounce back and forth. Sometimes I put it on and it's like, yeah, all right, this is kind of hitting the spot for me. And then other times
Mhm.
I put it on like I did this time and it didn't resonate. It didn't click with me as it's done in the past. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like, what am I not seeing that legions of fans, including my childhood best friend Matt Hilton, was just all over himself about these three films. Like, I love Army and Darkness, I will still champion that film. But Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, I'm like, what am I missing here? What is it about these two films that people are just like, oh my god, Ash the Cold? Like, I love Bruce Campbell as much as the next person, but these two particular films, I'm like, I'm not getting it. I just don't get it. I appreciate all how it's made,
Yeah.
but the story it's trying to tell is just like it's so repetitive to the point. Like, can we move? Can we progress a little bit here? We're just running around in circles here. You
Maybe
know?
I mean that's probably most of it, are people just appreciating the practical stuff and
Okay,
how
because
it's
I'm
shot
thinking like, are
more.
people really all about this blender that's out of control of tone,
I
where
think
it
it's
looks
just how
like
it looks and everything, as opposed to like how strong the story itself is. But I'm with you, so we'll
yeah.
agree on that.
Okay.
Evil Dead 2, maybe that's something down there. Well, probably not for you, maybe, but it's something for me. I
Oh,
will definitely revisit down the road just to see. I
definitely
think you
not
have
me.
to, maybe you have to be in the mood for it.
Well,
I
and
don't
I
know.
I I, I even looked over like I thought I had the Evil Dead copy, but I think I got rid of it years ago because I watched it and I was like, I don't think I'll watch this again.
Yeah.
I was trying to be optimistic. Like, you know what? My brother's a big fan of it. Everyone in it, Nathan's a big fan of it. The first, I love the cover of Evil Dead, like the poster and everything. Like that. That's badass.
Yeah.
But I just like, you know what? I probably won't revisit this movie again. I'm sitting there watching Evil Dead. So like, do I have the better film over here? Like, nah, I don't. So I won't be revisiting this series again. But I like Sam Raimi. I love a lot of his movies.
Hmm.
But not Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. So,
well, there you go, everyone. There's our reviews of all of that stuff. Some of the questions and feedback that we had. Once again, say this. If you enjoyed this episode, give us your thoughts on Ernest Scared Stupid. Leave us all the comments like you guys have been doing the past couple of weeks. It's been great. We'll read it on next week's show. Tyler, we haven't decided exactly what we're landing on for next week. One of two
but
things.
they will be both horror related topics that are not He-Man. We got a full roster of He-Man topics. When we're done with October, we're going to dive right back into.
Yep.
So
So two more weeks. One is a TV show, and one is going to be a spinner rack episode. So we got that for October, and then it's right back to Master Universe content. But leave us a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on Ernest Scared Stupid, and maybe just Ernest as a whole. Give us your Ernest experience of Ernest. Make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Ring the bell so you get notified whenever we may be going live, whether it's Saturday night, a Sunday afternoon, a Friday night. Who knows? But make sure you get notified if you want to join us here in the live chat and talk to us a little bit. Send us some more questions. And Tyler, I guess until later, let the power return.
of course, I'm going to give you something I don't have. A choice. Forget about me, Charlie. Forget about me, and I'll forget about you.
Damn it. You're doing it. I'm like, yeah. I should just do like an Ernest face.
Yeah.
It's there. Like, I recognize it, but once it goes past me being like, that sounds familiar, I'm not starting to connect it with a voice or a scene or anything. So I'm
All right, here's another line from the same scene. Now, we wouldn't want to wake your mother now, would we, Charlie? Then I'd have to kill her too. Right? If I deliver the ultimate knockout, you're like, oh my God, son of a bitch.
I mean, just do it.
All right. You're so cool, Brewster.
Oh, okay. Friday night. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah. And you would think, like, I watch Fright Night pretty much every year. You would think that I would know that line, but I don't. Until you pull out the.
Look at me. I'm Nathan. I don't know any movies.
Pretty much.
By the way, did you know you were in an episode of Tales from the Crypt with Bill Paxton?
No, it's Brad Dourif hanging out in that one.
Oh, okay. Look at Nathan right here. He's reading comic books too.
I have to check that episode.
Yeah, it's not a great episode. The ending's what it's really about, and even then, it's like it's kind of twisted. But then it's like, I've seen better.
Yeah, Tyler giving you a hint for everyone that the TV show we're talking about, Tales from the Crypt. We're gonna be doing a Tales from the Crypt episode review.
Oops.
Oh, sorry. See you guys next time.
Thank you for your time, everybody.